coming up, painting a picture for me. Where were you born and raised at? If you could give that to me real quick.
East Baltimore.
East Baltimore.
Yeah, East Baltimore.
Do you say that specifically, or is that just?
I don't know why. I just always said that.
Oh, okay.
East
Baltimore.
Baltimore.
Say Baltimore, just East.
Yeah,
Baltimore.
if I'm talking from out of town or something, I might say I just say Baltimore. Even sometimes I slip up and say East Baltimore.
Right.
But when I'm talking to people that's familiar with the area from the city, that's just because most people gonna ask you. So just to ignore it before I even got to get into it, and they gonna ask you once you tell them you from Baltimore, they gonna say what side. So before I just tell them straight from the jump from East Baltimore.
From East Baltimore, yeah. Man. And coming up, man, if you could kind of paint the picture for me, what was kind of like your household situation? Brothers, sisters, mother, father in the house? Was everything kind of like together? Was it kind of spread out? Because me personally, just to give you my situation, I was in a step-parent household. Came up with my brothers who are my half brothers, but when you're in that situation, it don't even matter. Those are my brothers. You feel what I'm saying? But so how was it for you navigating in that circle, in that space, and what did you see when you went outside as a youngster? Not quite middle school, but like your first kind of memory of coming outside in East Baltimore.
So I had both. That's crazy you said that. I really had both. But for the most part, it was a single parent home. But for a while, I did have a two-parent household, but it wasn't my biological father. I called him my stepdad at the time, Stanley Lee, rest in peace, he died. But him and my mom was together for quite some time, and they lived together. He helped raise me in the beginning, so I got to see both sides really.
You had obviously you have a brother. You had just more than one brother. Have sisters.
So I got my one brother. Everybody know about Tone.
Tone.
Yeah, Tone. Everybody know Tone. And then I got two sisters. One of my sisters, both of my sisters are older than me.
Okay.
One grew up in the house with me, Raina. A lot of people know who she is. And then my other sister, LaShonda, we got the same dad, so she didn't grow up in the house with me. But those are all my siblings. Two older sisters, one younger brother. But me and Tone like twins. We only 11 months apart, so I don't even really. It's hard to even call him a younger brother.
Y'all twins.
Yeah, we basically twins. Everybody thought we was twins for the longest time anay, so it is what it is.
Was it sports early, or was it just regular kids stuff?
Same, both.
Right.
I mean, me and my brother was real young. We was into everything just like any other kids. Wrestling. We watched wrestling. We used to play wrestle.
Right.
Shit. Playing with toys, all kinds of stuff. And went outside playing with kids, just doing everyday kid stuff. But we always loved sports too. Just like I think everybody in the neighborhood start off, no matter where they life take them, start off liking sports and entertainment and stuff like that. So.
No, that's facts. That's facts. So going outside, did you? At the time when you were kind of aware of your surroundings, because living in East Baltimore, you're still subject to certain things that are going on, like statistically, and even that's going on demographically around what you're going on. So as a kid, did you ever feel like the presence of what was going on around you?
When I was little, not really, because you just you born and you in your environment. So I don't think any kid really look at it that way. As you get older and grow and learn and start seeing more and picking up knowledge, I start realizing, the environments I was in. But when I was real young, you don't really pay attention. You just going to school, elementary school and stuff like that, going outside, playing with your friends, everything just fun. But, as you get to middle school, a little bit older, especially high school, you start realizing, where you stay at, what type of environment it is.
So what elementary school did you attend?
I went to two. First, I went to Guilford, and then after I went to Guilford Elementary, I went to Walter P. Carter Elementary, because I moved a lot, so, yeah.
Oh, talking to somebody.
Yeah, I moved a lot, but I always was in East Baltimore. Always somewhere in East Baltimore. That's another reason I always say it like that, because I moved so much, but it was always somewhere in East Baltimore. Yeah.
Okay. So elementary school was kind of like, seemed like a foundational point. It was seemed to be some strength to draw from there going into middle school. So now, going into middle school, 6th, 7th grade, you start to identify yourself in the social structure.
Yeah.
So is that what sports came about for you, or was it still not there yet, or what were you kind of doing going into middle school?
No, sports was there with me from the jump.
From the gate? From
the jump. I started playing organized basketball when I was 6. So I was going outside even back then at 5, 6, 7 years old, and I was living on Greymount, so I used to go up top and just play outside with all the older kids.
Okay.
I would just play, and then I would just love the game so much from the jump that from there, at the time my stepdad, he took us the rec basketball. That's how I got introduced to organized basketball.
Okay.
Yeah.
So at this time, did you kind of formulate any relationships with kind of anybody in your neighborhood or the guys that you moved around? Was it kind of like the friendships that you kind of started with early that you can remember?
The crazy thing is, everybody in my neighborhood, like I said, I went and played rec ball all the way over west. So nobody in my neighborhood played basketball technically with me, unless we was outside. But I went all the way over west and started playing for John Eagle Howard. That's why everybody used to think I was from West Baltimore.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So that's okay, all right. Oh.
I would go all the way over there to play rec basketball.
And was that for a particular reason? Was it not a situation?
That's just where my stepfather took me.
He took you to do
that's
that.
what, yeah.
Like that was the best situation at the time?
I think he knew people over there.
Oh,
That's
okay.
why he took me over there. I think he had a real good relationship with the guy who ran the rec at the time, Charlie Harrison.
Okay.
A legend. So, yeah, he took me over there.
That's what's up, man. So your early inclination in kind of getting him in the mix was from 6 years old, and you were kind of competitive from there. So now you fast forward, or do I need to fast forward? Was there any moments in between there, like that you can remember that were pivotal points that made you say, because first of all, I skipped the whole question. Was it just basketball, or was it something else for you?
Organized, it was just basketball. Like, in the hood, you playing with your friends. We play every sport. But as far as organized, just basketball. I knew basketball was my thing from that age.
Okay.
6 years old, I knew that was what I wanted to do. I knew that was what I was going to do. That early.
That's a little different.
Yeah,
like
that early.
A lot of the interviews that I did, like even with Sean and with Dev and a lot of them, they kind of endured and got to other stuff very early. But you kind of came from the gate.
Yeah, it was basketball straight from the jump.
Basketball.
So you got to think, even when I first started playing organized basketball at 6, the age group is 8 and under. It started at 8, so I'm playing 2 age groups up. I wound up making a team over there at 6, playing 8 and under. So I just, like, basketball was just my thing from the jump.
This was over west.
Yeah.
And you're not from over there. How's people feeling about that? Did you feel that early?
No, because everybody kids, nobody really.
I just wanted to know.
Yeah, that young
right.
At 6, don't nobody.
I just want to make sure if you knew.
At that time, I didn't even know what East and West Baltimore was.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying? So I ain't. Nobody ever said that.
Sometimes when car rides home, like you gotta go over west and handle your business.
Yeah, at that time I wasn't even. We was catching the bus all the way over there.
Okay.
That was before my stepfather even got a car. Right. We was catching the bus over there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So, man, you 6 years old, man. You and Tone, and y'all kind of, you know what I'm saying? Y'all playing together? Or
he wasn't even playing yet. That's what I'm saying. So you got to think, he wasn't playing. He was 5. I'm 6. He wasn't even playing yet. Like Tone, we really had to trick Tone into playing organized basketball.
All right, we'll get to that.
Yeah, we had to, but it was rec ball, but we had to trick him into playing.
And that's like coming into middle school area?
No, this is before middle school.
Like
That's what I'm saying. This elementary. This is.
Had to trick him
we had to trick him. When you 6, 7, what you in, like 3rd grade?
Yeah. Like third grade.
Yeah, I'm already taking basketball serious. Then
at that point,
yeah, it's already serious for me.
That's understandable though. It makes sense. Okay, so man, all right. I kind of feel like I covered that part.
And we was dominant too at Johnny Howard too.
I mean, now
I just want everybody to know, for my age group, we was dominant, and everybody know that. Only team really gave us trouble that we would lose to is Chickwell. We would go back and forth with them, and I think I'm gonna get Chickwell. They would get us more times than we got them, but they was for my age group.
Looking back, do you remember who was on your team?
On my team,
like
so
from a looking back standpoint,
it was a lot of different times because when I first started playing, I was playing up. So my first team was with Larry Batfield, that you probably know. My point guard was Juby. He was real good at a young age. So I was playing up with them, and then when it got to my age group, man, we had a bunch of players. My brother, C.J. Fair, Josh
Now,
Selby.
to just is this like fourth, fifth grade? You're saying, right?
Yeah.
At the same
Or
element,
fifth, sixth, seventh
at
grade.
the same
No, at
elementary.
the rec.
At
We
the
didn't all
rec,
go
the
to the
rec
same.
team.
Yeah,
Okay,
we
all
all
right,
played
the
on the
rec
same
team.
rec team. Johnny Howard.
Say that one more time for me.
Me, my brother Tom, C.J. Fair, Josh Selby, Nick Faust wound up playing with. He a little bit like 2 years younger than us, but he was playing with us.
So you was there.
Yeah, so yeah, it was some hoopers that come out of there.
Yo, come on.
Yeah, we had some hoopers. That's why I told Dev he know when he was at Liberty, never beat us. Never beat us. He know that. Not no rec ball. He know that. But Dev was nice though from the jump too. Man, him was both nice. Like he said, like we both made AAU teams. AAU started 9 and under the Nationals, and we both made the 9 and under teams at 8. We was like the only ones.
The reason why I kind of like try to get through that point, and you kind of just covered it just now, is to see if you remember who the people were that motivated you at that time. So like looking back at like, again, we're getting to like middle school area. You obviously see what's going on at this rec center, this rec.
Yeah.
Did you have anybody that out there that you seen that you was like, man, he all right, but every time I see him, I gotta kill him because, you know what I mean? I don't like how people talking about him. First of all, they think he nice, they think he this, he think he that.
Yeah.
Did that come later or was that around that time?
For me, it was still even around that time. I had got real competitive. Probably not when I first started playing organized 6, but like 8, 9, 10, 11.
Yeah.
Let's get to
that era.
Yeah, I already was like kind of competitive.
Because 9, you said you went nationals.
Yeah.
So now you kind of getting on the circuit. You're seeing a lot of different players, and you playing all the top notch, whether it's in the city or in Maryland or DC or whatever.
Yeah.
Now, was there anybody in that time? And obviously, you know, you can talk about your own experience through that time, but kind of talk about your motivating factors through that period of time.
Like I said, I had already loved it and knew that's what I wanted to do. So I was like my biggest motivation. And then obviously, you know, we playing so competitive. That time we thought rec ball was like, it was so competitive. Everybody played. It was a big thing back then. I know it's not that big now, but back then it was crazy. You had good players from each rec team. Like for my position, and player like Najee Hibbert was real nice. He's one of the guys. I remember even Gerard Shepard first came into the city. He was nice. Trying to think, Devin at Liberty. George, they was like me and Tone, George and Justin at Bentlow. Trying to think, yeah, it was a lot of nice dudes though that could play though.
And that's all the names that you thought about. That was like,
I mean, I could go on names. I mean, I remember so many guys, but I was just trying to think as me, like, just going against them.
Yeah. No, that's what's up.
At that time, anyway, like 10, 11 and stuff like that, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So you get to this age now, you're 9 and 10, you knee deep into the game, you know what I'm saying? What is kind of like, I would say I know you have obviously got to work because you go into these different recs and whatever, but what is your personal work ethic? How do you feel about, are you doing the training thing? Are you just going to the park? Or are you just, you know what I'm saying? How are you approaching the game from that point to get better?
Just hooping at that point. I didn't know about training and stuff like that until high school, and I never even trained in high school. I probably never trained until I got to college, but like at that time, it was just going outside hooping. Like that's all we did. Like when I didn't have a rec game or AAU game, I was outside in whatever neighborhood I lived in. I was just hooping. Like that was working to me. That was working on your game, just getting a good bump. And I was always good, so I would play with older guys, and that would teach me a lot too. But it was mainly hooping. I never had a trainer and worked on my game from a skill point. No, I was just hooping. Yeah, I had a street game.
Hours and hours and just getting out with older guys.
Just hooping.
Pick up and whatever.
Just hooping.
That was the format back then. Back then, run and shoot was open.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? What was the place up y'all at? Hoops was
Hoops,
open.
all that. But
all
for
that.
me, it was outside.
But you was going outside.
Yeah, I was really hooping.
That's more
outside. Like I was going to neighborhoods just hooping.
Yeah, for sure.
I was outside, like literally hooping, like.
Cause you know we couldn't get in the gym.
That's what I'm saying. Like it wasn't really a lot of that until you got like older, but like middle school and the beginning of high school, I was still like, I was hooping outside all the time.
Okay. All right, so kind of painting that picture, man. Going to what middle school did you go to?
Golden Ring Middle.
Golden Rain Middle.
Golden Ring.
Golden Ring.
Yeah, Golden Ring
Where is
Middle.
that located at? East
So,
Baltimore as well.
no, that's in the county. So that was the one time I had lived in Garden Village, which is considered kind of like like the county, like Sedonia. I lived out there for middle school, yeah, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, yep.
Okay.
And I went to Golden Ring Middle. We was loaded out there.
And y'all had a team at that school as well.
Yeah, but you couldn't play to 8th grade.
But see, like, to me, that's foreign conversation because my middle school in Anne Arundel County, we didn't have middle school teams.
Oh, y'all have middle school basketball, yeah.
No, so Calvert County had it.
Yeah.
Y'all, I think Baltimore City and Baltimore
Yeah,
County
both had it, yeah.
We didn't have middle school teams.
Yeah.
So that's why I be asking, like, I always go over that question, like, man, who was in your middle school?
Even my middle school team,
So
like,
middle school
I wish
team.
we could have played from the jump. Like, Najee Hibbert went there, Big Jim that played football. What school Jim went to for football? What was that? What school Jim went to football? No, high school he went to City. We came up there with me. But he went to what, Texas A&M?
Yeah, I think.
With high D1, Big Jim, James Common.
With Najee?
No. This is another deal. I'm talking about James Common.
Okay.
He played football. I'm saying he was good at basketball too.
Right.
He went to our middle school. Najee went to my middle school. My brother, of course, C.J. Fair, John Shelby. Like
that core right there just stayed together.
that's just how it happened.
So kind of talk about that. Like, you know what I mean? I mean, obviously people know who they are now, but kind of talk about being in that environment and playing. Well, obviously, I mean, well, did you kind of know that was like the high level environment at that time? Or you just playing with your boys and y'all going around park to park, or was y'all all together? Was y'all training separately?
Yeah, it was both. We just hooped. Like we would stay the night at each other's house. Like I met Josh is my cousin, like literally cousin. Isaiah Arnwood is my cousin, like first cousin, like real family. And CJ, we just was so close that we called each other cousins. I would stay the night over his house. He stayed the night over my house. Like, so we was always all on the same team. We always just hooped together. We was always winning, so we knew we was good.
Yeah.
So that's just, how it happened.
You know you wanted to play basketball.
Yeah, I just wanted to hoop.
Any conception of anything else that you wanted to do outside of that, or is that just one track mind? That's what you're doing.
No, I knew it. Like that, I was one track minded. I already knew.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, I already knew. Nothing else. I wasn't thinking about doing nothing else. That's it. Nothing.
Okay. Now, so you're old enough now. The main question that I ask every guest that I have: did you recognize the gift that you had yet? Did you recognize it like to the point where as though like this is something like that's fully certified? I guess you kind of answered it before, but when did it like fully click when you had a developed sense of what was going on around you? Was it around that time in middle school, like going towards late middle school to high school, or was it after that?
For some reason, I just always had the vision. Like, as far as I can remember, like, once I started playing basketball, like, I was just in love with it, and I just knew that I was going to, like, once I started watching TV and saying, okay, the highest level is the NBA, I'm like, this is where I'm going. Like,
Yeah.
I never doubted that. I don't know why. That's just how my mind worked. I didn't need nobody to tell me that. I didn't need nobody to make me play basketball. Nothing. It just clicked.
And
like
nobody ever tried to deter you from that either.
Nah. My mom knew from the jump. She knew what I wanted to do, so she pushed it. Like I said, when my stepdad, he was coaching me, so I had a clear head. Only time I would say I kind of got sidetracked. Not really sidetracked, but like it was a little cloudy. Like I said, with my stepdad and my mom, they parted ways and they broke up. That's when so they broke up. I think either end of 7th grade, beginning of 8th grade, one of those. And he always coached me. So when they broke up, and he kind of he stopped coaching. He wasn't even coaching no more. So it was like, damn, I don't really know who to play with. I played with Johnny Howard Rec my whole life in Baltimore Stars, AAU my whole life. So it was Rec, Johnny Howard. Then once Rec ball over, we played AAU. It was Baltimore Stars my whole life. And he coached either the head coach or he was like an assistant coach on both teams my whole life. So when they broke up and he wasn't coaching no more, it was like I ain't really had no direction as far as being organized on who I was going to play with. And I think that kind of hurt me for probably about 2 years,
It was
where
like
I
a little
kind
bit
of,
fog.
it was kind of like fog and kind of like a little fall off.
Okay.
As far as, from my opinion, as far as me personally and the development of my game. When you're a kid, you don't really notice that, but like
You're going through real
going
life
back,
stuff.
looking back at it, like yeah, just because like I said, I didn't play with anybody else, so I didn't know who to play with. I wasn't really playing. Now I'm only hooping outside, so it was like it's kind of different.
Right. And I'm sure when you say that from a standpoint, it's not really more so a developmental thing. It's like just more so of the being in the leagues and
Yeah,
stuff like that.
yeah.
You're still getting it in, like
Yeah.
you say. You're still going to do what you got to do. But that pivotal point is definitely something that could be either detrimental or something that could push you for real. So
Yeah.
is that something that you felt like pushed you from that point? And did you recognize maybe something that your mom was going through that kind of pushed you through that point?
It just made me like see I had to really start taking matters into my own hand. Like I said, for that, because you got to think, going from 8th grade going into high school, that's a real pivotal jump. You making decisions about what high school you want to go to, now like circuit, and now big time AAU is coming into play.
Facts.
And like I said, I had no direction. I wasn't playing with nobody. So it looked like for a while I kind of fell off, but I really just wasn't playing. I was just playing hooping outside and like for like low teams where I was just playing locally because I didn't know about none of this stuff and I didn't have no guidance. So it really made me realize I had to start like thinking on my own, doing things on my own, and getting help, from other people to help get me to where I wanted to go.
In our area, when you have a name, when you have the game, when you have all of that coming into play, coming to pick your high school, especially in your city, like it's a different. In our time, because at our time, a lot more of the private schools were open. You had Gibbons that was still open.
Yeah.
You had Towson Catholic that was still open. I'm not sure if I'm missing another one, but all the other ones might still be open. Either way, you had that whole pool, and it was deep. Like, it was a lot of players that went throughout a lot of those schools, even like Carmel and stuff like that. So coming into 8th grade and going to 9th grade, what school did you wind up going to?
So 8th grade, I was still, one of the elite players. So at that time, the Catholic school, private school wave was real big in Baltimore.
Yes.
And I was supposed to go to Towson Catholic. That's where I was supposed to go. Yeah, I was. I remember our middle school played they fresh off team. Like, it was like set up for me to go there. That's where I was supposed to go.
You was gonna go to you was willingly gonna go to Towson Catholic?
Yeah, it was a done deal.
What happened?
Coach Mike Daniel and them got fired. The year I'm about to go to high school, they get fired.
Who was on that team you went there that year?
So,
what we in 2004
or
3? No, 2004 or 5?
Yeah, cause
4, right?
3, because you was going into his freshman year.
I'm trying to think. I know I know that at that time they had Dante Green, Malcolm Delaney. They had my boy Ronald, light skinned Ronald. I forget his last name, but he was nice. He like 6'7". Because he wound up going to City with me, but I'll get that to let you know how I made my high school decision.
Right.
Who else was up there? Larry Batsfield was up there.
Big Drew was there?
No, Big Drew wasn't there yet. Because me and Big Drew was in the same grade. We was in 8th grade.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
So I'm trying to think. Larry was up there.
Vinny.
No, Vinny wasn't up there either. Vinny, all of them was in my grade. We was about to go. Who else was up there, man? I think Brandon Green was up there.
Yeah.
At that time.
But, I mean, even with everything you just said, those guys, they wound up going undefeated MIAA and BCL champions, and you would have added to the mix of that.
Yeah, I think, because I'm trying to think, did they go, I think they wound up going undefeated and all that my freshman year in high school.
Yeah,
so
high school,
yeah. But I was supposed to go there. We played their fresh off team. My middle school team, we beat their fresh off team. I remember I shadowed up there, everything. Everything was set up because my aunt and Coach Tony Biggers was real cool. He was the head JV coach up there. They was real tight. So, I was supposed to go up there. Obviously, then I saw Melo had went there, so like my aunt was cool with them. They was recruiting me. I seen Melo had went up there, so it was a done deal. And then the whole coaching staff got fired.
Oh my God! So when they get fired, then that starts your whole process over, or you just wind up
So
having
they
to go
got
to your
fired
school?
late.
Right.
So I didn't even like this happened like late. So I'm like, damn, I don't even know where I'm going to high school now.
So you
Like
gotta
I
go
don't
to
know
your
where I'm
zone?
going to high school now. I don't know where I want to go. Another, because that was a done deal. So I'm
Yeah.
like, damn, where am I go? And crazy thing is, they wound up getting another job up city.
So they
So they like, yo, come to city. Now, mind you, the top players usually going to the Cap School League. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go city because these are the coaches that recruit me. I feel comfortable with them. So like, school had already started. That's crazy. We weren't even in school yet. Me and my brother weren't even in school yet. School had already started. We weren't in no schools, and then we wound up
When they
making
wind up-
everything work, and we wound up going to city.
That is wild.
Yeah.
Man.
Wound up
And
going to city.
And you never for a split second thought about any other school. You just kind of was going with what you know.
No,
what you
not
comfortable with?
seriously. Not seriously at that time.
Damn, man,
Yeah.
that's wild, man. That's
Yeah.
wild, yo.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yo.
That was crazy.
Okay. So you did go to Towson Catholic, wound up going to city. How did the city? How did you adjust to high school? How did you adjust to going to city? Not basketball wise, just from a personality standpoint. Did you notice a difference in yourself, or how did you act socially, or?
I mean, obviously, you starting over now. You're a ninth grader, and now you're in school with, seniors, so and stuff like that. But I always been a personable person. I always had a good personality, so that part, I wasn't never really worried about it for real. The funny thing is, when I got up there, people wound up telling me I didn't even know that my dad went up there. My real father went to city, and he could hoop.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I knew he hooped, but I didn't know at the time that he went to city. And then people started telling me, so I was like, damn, that's chills for real. Yeah, that's chill for real. Like, shit just be happening, like, God. You know what I'm saying?
Did you
Like,
have any type of relationship or?
yeah. I still talk to my dad to this day. We weren't in the same household, but
Right.
yeah, I talk to my father now.
That's wonderful, man. That's
Yeah.
wonderful. So you wind up going to city.
Yeah.
You adjusting socially. Now you don't play no football, so fall ain't got nothing for you.
Yeah.
Obviously, but in that time, in that scene, you playing fall ball and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I know I haven't talked about it yet because I know this is when it starts to happen.
Yeah.
AAU, is that happening before high school? And how is that going on? And who are you playing AAU for at that point?
So that last year before I started high school, I played with Chick Webb. And we won the national championship that year, 1400 national championship. We won it.
In Vegas?
No, that was in Orlando.
Orlando.
Won the national championship, 1400. Yep.
National championship at 14.
Yeah.
I mean, how does that? Because you got to remember, like I know I was around,
Yeah.
but you got to you got to paint that picture for me. Like how is that going? Like you going down there, y'all traveling with again? Is this you, CJ?
No. So this is
It's a different situation.
on this team is me, because I told you CJ and them was a year younger than me, really.
Okay.
So on this team was me, Terrell Vincent. Terrell was our best player. Isaiah Arnwood. Josh was on that team. Tion Womack, he was our point guard. Tion was tough.
It was very tough. Very tough.
Gerard Shepard, like I said, he wound up going to Madonna. He wound up actually being better in football. He went D1 for football. I think he had a couple stints in the NFL for a little minute. But yeah, we had a good team.
Damn, man. So
We had a good team.
y'all go down there. Is there anybody that you remember playing down there? A team that stood out that you can remember at 14? Because you go to nationals. Like I mean,
I've been playing nationals for so long, so you kind of, the top players, kind of top teams, kind of always see each
always
other
the
and know
same.
each other. I mean, I don't want to say just the same, but you get a feel for the top players and teams when you've been playing for so long.
Who was some of them people for you? Because again, it's the same line of question that comes from before, but
Yeah.
you find the root of it.
Yeah, so at that time, LaShawn Edwards was the number one player in the country. And He from Baltimore,
Baltimore.
and we was playing AAU together all the way up until 13 under. So he started playing. I played with the Baltimore Stars, 9 and under. He wound up coming on our team, 10 and under. So 9 and under, we came in 6. We got him 10 and under. We placed 5th, and then 12 and under our last year together, which we didn't know. I mean, obviously going into the year we didn't know, but that was our last year together. We lost in the Final Four and placed 3rd on the and Devin hit a 3 on the buzzer to tie it up and send it to overtime, and they didn't count it.
Oh Lord!
And they didn't count it. And then after that, that's when everything teams just start splitting. Like I said, everybody just start going different ways. But yeah, so when we won it though in 14 under, LaShawn was on Team Mello. They was loaded. Najee Hibbert, Sean, Davin, Drew. Yeah, they was loaded. So, and I think, they went to national too. I forgot what they placed that year, but we wound up winning it because they had beat us in the state championship to go to national. Yeah, we beat them first, but then they beat us in the championships, in the state championship. But we wound up winning nationals that year.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's so.
Yeah.
And they all both was out there for nationals that year.
Yeah. But at that time, LaShawn was the #1 player in the country. Yeah.
What about around the country? Was it a team from a specific state that y'all just kept running into? Or?
When I told you so, when we first got LaShawn and we lost an Elite 8 in the Final Four back-to-back years, and we lost to the same team 2 years in a row. The was they Indy Stars? It was a team from Indy. Yeah, I think they was Indy Stars. Indy something. Team Indy. Team Indy. That's what they were. Definitely know them. Yeah, they beat us 2 years in a row. One year they won it all when they beat us, and the other year they lost in the national championship.
You remember who they had on their team?
I just remember they had this big, strong dude. We used to call him Deuce. I don't know what his real name was. He was strong as a motherfucker. He used to kill us. For real.
It be them indie teams, them Ohio Red teams. They always got one of them football hybrid dudes. So I can believe that.
Yeah.
All right, so let's bring it back to the city situation. Did you wind up playing a season at City?
I played 2 years at City.
2 years at City.
Hold on real quick, though.
So how was your first experience playing high school basketball? JV or was it varsity?
I wound up playing JV, but this the crazy thing, right?
Yeah, it's always
this the crazy
thing about the JV showing off the rip.
It's the crazy thing. So trials, whatever, I'm with the varsity. Woo, make the varsity. But for the season start, we had 2 scrimmages, preseason games, whatever you want to call them.
Yeah.
I'm coming out the bench. Both scrimmages, I lead us in scoring. As a freshman.
Yeah.
Both. So this was 2 days before the regular season start. Coach called me in the office. I'm thinking they about to tell me, man, you starting. They bring me in there and tell me, man, we want you to play JV. We need you to mature. I was sick.
Did you ask him to mature in what fashion?
Because I was goofy. I was goofy.
Did you bring the kind of the street aspect, the outside playground aspect to the organized game, or was it more or less?
No, I'm talking about mentally.
Oh, you was
my game was ready for it.
Okay.
Obviously, I led us in scoring.
Absolutely.
Coming out the bench, but mentally they felt like I need to grow up more, which I kind of did because at the time I was pissed, but now looking back on it, they saying the bigger picture. They like, yo, he can play varsity this year. He gonna come out the bench, whatever. We gonna play some, but they knew that was gonna be my program. So they was preparing me for next year. Like, yo, this gonna be your team. Because you gotta realize everybody else on the team was seniors, mostly. Maybe a couple juniors, but and it wasn't no really, really good juniors. So they was looking at he got to be prepared for this to be his team next year.
How was that received among the players?
At that time, like I said, I don't think they really cared that much because they were seniors and I was a freshman.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
So I don't think nobody really was like, oh, they ain't, Will, they ain't gonna leave him on varsity or whatever. Everybody on the JV, all the players was surprised.
no, I'm saying like even you coming in out the gate, like obviously to come off the bench first as a freshman.
Yeah. They knew I was good though.
They respected.
They knew,
that
they respect because I didn't come like trying to.
Right.
It just happened organic. It's not like I was going out there hunting shots. Like I was just playing a role. The ball would just finding me, and I would make shots. Like it wasn't not like I was out there going crazy or trying to do a whole bunch of extra stuff or take the team. No, I was just happy to be a freshman playing varsity. It just when I was out there, the ball was finding me. I was just doing my thing.
No, that happens sometimes.
Yeah.
I just
But I always was like a person who respected hierarchy, no matter how good I was. I always respected if somebody was a junior or a senior that was in front of me. I wasn't scared. I never backed down, but I wanted to learn. And I looked at them as they're older than me. They got more experience than me. I need to learn. Even though I never thought nobody was better than me, but I wanted to learn from it. Like, okay. But I never came in like cocky or no like, oh, I'm a freshman, I'm playing varsity, I'm better than you. No, I wasn't like that.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah.
That's the mindset.
They made me play JV 2 days before the first game. I was sick.
And what you wound up doing in JV?
Man, giving guys 30.
Unbelievable.
It was too easy. It was too easy.
Do you think that one? Well, you obviously just said it.
I wound up failing off.
In ninth grade?
Yeah, out the team. Yeah.
Yeah, I was eligible ninth grade too.
I wound up failing out the team. I didn't even play the second half of JV.
I didn't play the first half.
Yeah.
So, damn, you don't wind up playing that second half of that, and that maturity thing starts to kick back in. You got to get a little bit more mature.
Yeah.
Does that kind of transition into going in the summer? Like, do you think about that going in the summer, or you just go to
And see, that's what I'm saying. So at that time, that's what I'm trying to say. That's when, like, I told you, like, now I'm back single parent home. Even though I started 8th grade, I'm back single parent home. So everything is changing. I don't have no direction. I don't know who I'm playing with. So at the high school, I'm playing with like local AAU team, like not even a real AAU team. I'm playing with this team called C Note that like my old head put together. You get what I'm saying?
Local joints.
Yeah, so I'm not even playing on no circuit or nothing. So I really like at this point it's kind of like dysfunctional. Not in a bad way, but I'm saying as far as like my progress as a basketball player, even though I'm still good though, I'm good, but I'm really just playing local basketball and outside basketball. So my 9th grade year, once I fell off, that's what I was doing for real. Yeah. I'm hanging with my friends. I'm really a regular high school kid for real. I'm skipping school some days, going to the Y just to hoop, but I'm just doing regular shit.
It's crazy.
I'm just doing regular shit.
Niggas was skipping school to go hoop.
Yeah.
Like that's to think about that is like kind of wild, but it's like at least we was doing that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But, damn, man. So you
and city was hard as shit. Anybody who went to city will tell you.
That's why I asked you in the beginning.
Academically, that shit was crazy. So like in middle school, you getting cool grades.
Right.
So I'm thinking school just go always be school. I could just skate by and get good grades. Man, that shit was hard as shit at city, man.
That's exactly why
I'm up there failing like a.
Yeah, the discipline.
I'm up there failing like a. Listen. Oh man.
Now, from a mother's standpoint, is she on your back about these grades, or she kind of like?
So man, my brother was so slick. Like we would only show my mother our grades really at the end of the year when we gotta go to summer school. So that's when she really seeing how bad the grades. You gotta realize, like, I'm in a single parent home. Like, you feel what I'm saying? Like, my mother's trying to provide. Like, she ain't got time to be all on top of me, like, what your grades is every day. And I'm in high school now. I'm like, you start thinking you're a man. So, and then I'm playing ball, so it don't look. It ain't gonna never look that bad. Like I said, my sophomore year, I wound up standing on the team the whole year. So it's like, grades got to be decent if he playing basketball. You get what I'm saying?
But did she ever have any inclination when you wasn't for the team? Like, cause she obviously had to know you was playing 9th grade for the first half.
Yeah.
Now, was it any?
Yeah, she knew I failed out the team. I mean, she gonna know. Yeah, I got to tell her.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then after that, you kind of go, like I said, you go to the summer, and did you like, man, next year I'm not gonna be on that type of shit, or was you just still like, all right, I'm gonna play ball, and whatever happens, happens. Like, you know what I mean?
I mean,
How was your approach?
I still had the same mindset going into 10th grade. It was just more like I knew I was going to be playing varsity. I knew it was going to be my team, my show, but I still wasn't doing what I needed to do in school though. Like I still was hooking classes.
Did you understand the importance of it though? Even though you
No, that's what I'm
you
saying. I
did the
didn't
cliche
understand
stuff.
because I didn't really, from a basketball standpoint, I didn't have nobody in my life that was in that field that was knowing that. So no, I'm just thinking you just hoop for real, like, and we're gonna get into that. So,
Sure.
but at City, I'm just I'm just doing whatever. Like I'm hooking classes, going to every lunch period.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You got 3 lunch periods. I'm going to every lunch period. I'm doing dumb shit. Like I remember we had one class. I had French, my 10th grade year, right? So you would go to French, and then during the class you would have a lunch break. So you go to lunch, but then you had to come back. Yeah, you had to come back to class. So me, I would go there, right? Then when that was our lunch break, I would go there, and it was time to go back to class. I wouldn't come back. I'm staying on every lunch period. Got 3 lunch periods. I'm staying on all of them. So I'm just doing.
But not understanding yet though.
Yeah, I don't really understand.
You don't know yet.
Yeah, I'm just doing with any. I ain't gonna say any high school kid, but what the most cool high school kids is doing.
I was doing that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Come on,
What's
man.
cool high school kids doing?
Yeah, for sure. And especially when you got some leeway.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Come on now, you ain't gonna really say too much to me, you feel me? You're personable. Like you say, you ain't really causing too much friction. So you ain't saying too much.
Yeah, but 10th grade, I stayed eligible the whole year. We was good that year too.
All right, so before we get there though, now going after you had that 9th grade year, you go through that, you make it through that. Going into that summer, do you remember if there was any pivotal, like incremental change in your game going into that 10th grade year, or did you just kind of like still have that same game and knew you was kind of like steadily developing, or?
Yeah. No dramatic change yet.
Okay.
No dramatic change yet.
Cool. So 10th
Just
grade.
incrementally getting better, but it was not like crazy yet.
Okay. Okay. So 10th grade comes and it's your team. How did you kind of deal with that? Did you said you played the whole year? But how did you know what I mean, statistically, how did you?
I was killing. I mean, definitely for a sophomore starting varsity. Yeah, I probably averaged that year like 17, 18. Hell yeah. Sophomore playing varsity, yeah.
Facts.
Yeah. And we was a good team too. It's not like we sucked. I mean, we was good.
How did you feel about some of the matchups that you had? What was some of the tougher matchups that you had as a high school player? Now, as a full season, you going through the whole situation, playing City. Who was your schedule that year like?
So we played all the top city schools, all Lake Clifton. We actually played Catholic schools that year too. We played Calvert Hall and McDonough that year. Yep, because we beat Calvert Hall, we beat Kyle Wise and them. That was that year he was a freshman starting. We beat them and we lost to McDonough. So we played. We had a good schedule. We played some county teams. And then you played the city schedule.
I know that team that you're talking about that you beat.
Yeah, we got them out of there though.
That's crazy.
We got them out of there. We was all sophomores too.
That's what I'm saying.
Like the bulk of our team, I started, my brother started, Adam started. We was all sophomores. We had one senior, Devin Brown, and I think he came from Calvert Hall. That's crazy. And forgot who else started with us. But yeah, we was mostly sophomores. We had a good year that year. Would have been city champions. Would have went to the city championship, but Jeremy up Northwestern beat us, man. And I used to watch Jeremy a lot because he came from John Eagle Howard. So he was like an older player, little light skinned Jeremy Robinson. He wound up playing with like Mount Royal and stuff, but he started with Johnny Howard. He was older than me. He was one of like the players I watched because we was at the same rec. And he wound up beating us. We needed to beat them to go to the city championship. We lost to him.
As a sophomore.
As a sophomore.
Go get that.
Yeah.
Damn. So, all right, you got to go through. It's nothing even to ask because you dealing with all them city teams, like you said, the Calvert Halls, the Douglas, stuff like that. All of them teams at that time, they got dogs. Like, you know what I mean? You got Omar, Douglas, U.S. City.
Yeah.
I mean, I can only think about what was going on the other aspect of it. I mean, come on, it was tough. So now you go through that 10th grade year. I kind of can imagine that now you kind of really You know what I'm saying? Like now you really gotta start figuring stuff out. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? And were you kind of aware of like the recruiting system thing yet?
Yeah,
Had
yeah.
you been recruited yet by anybody sent me letters?
Yeah, at that time, kind of just like local schools, like mid majors, like the Towsons.
How'd you feel about your first letter?
I was excited.
Did
I
that
was
kind of
I was
change your format of how you was going forward with stuff?
no, because it wasn't the schools that I wanted yet. So I was excited, but I was like I knew I had for mentally I was like this ain't nothing because what I wanted to accomplish, what I wanted to do, like I got a lot more work to do.
Now, on more of a personal relationship level, had you been around anybody on a personal relationship level that was going through that at that time? Like that was getting the top letters or whatever? Like
No,
you didn't have any
no,
relationship?
because I'm telling you, at this time I'm the best player at my high school. You get what I'm saying? And AU, I'm not really playing high level AU, so I'm kind of like off the scene,
Yeah.
really.
Okay.
And then so that summer, that's one time I'm going to summer school every year. My grades is horrible.
Just going into 11th grade, you're going to summer school too.
Yeah, but so
But I know.
a big change come. So my man Rolo, I told you like my old head in my life, started helping me a lot with everything, and he's seeing me even though he don't really he's going through this for the first time. He's older, so he's calling at this point, finding people who like to try to get me on the right track. Basically, you know how bad I want it. So he wound up reaching out to this guy named Trevor Brown, coach National Christian Academy. And he was just telling him like, yeah, I got these two guys talking about me and my brother that can hoop. They ain't going back to city next year. Grades is terrible. Like, school is kind of too hard for them. They need to get out of there. They need to change. And we go out there and work out for them. And he like, they want us, they take us. So now this school is in Fort Washington,
I
Maryland.
was just going to ask you now, can you tell the people where this school is located?
Yeah, National Christian Academy is in Fort Washington, Maryland. So at that time, at that age, you know what I say is DC.
Yeah.
Because I don't even, that's a.
Yeah, it's that far.
Yeah, I basically
pretty much
say,
there.
yeah, I say DC. You from Baltimore, you calling that DC basically.
That's all DC. Yeah, for sure. So now
that move changed my life.
I was getting ready to ask you. Now I asked you about the adjustment going to high school.
Yeah.
Now you in the city.
Yeah.
People might not understand this, but I'm sure that a lot of people in mainstream do always hear the polar opposite between Baltimore and DC or PG or even PG.
Yeah.
So how did you adjust going to that school? Was it a situation where you had to live out there?
So it was totally different. I lived with the coach. Me and my brother lived with the coach. It was my whole mind. Everything changed when I went there. So first, when we was about to like get ready for school and stuff, obviously he looked at our transcripts and stuff like. And this the first time I have really had. I felt like a coach that was like invested a lot in me, and just everything and breaking stuff down to me and making me get it and understand it. So he looking at me and my brother's transcript and he like, yo, y'all not gonna be able to go to college. Y'all gonna have to do 10th grade over. Y'all basically failed. I mean, we going to summer school, so you gotta think, I'm almost failing almost every class. You only go to summer school for 2 classes.
Yeah.
But I'm failing more than 2 classes. You get what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
I'm really supposed to be doing the grade over.
Yeah.
And he caught that. He like, yo, you gotta do this. You gotta do this over if you want to go to college. Like,
so you was missing kind of half of your core credits.
yeah, exactly. I knew nothing about that. And he breaking it down. He like, yo, y'all gonna have to do 10th grade over. So I remember telling my mom that, and my mom, she don't really understand at that point. So she like, what? Y'all gonna have to do the 10th grade over with? No, y'all not doing that. But listen, I'm living with him. You get what I'm saying? So she not there.
Yeah.
I told him like, we doing it.
Yeah.
And this what I'm saying, like becoming a man and making decisions for myself. I'm like, yo, if this what I got to do to go to college, I'm doing it. So we reclassed, did 10th grade over. Yep. Did 10th grade over.
I never would imagine it to be that way. Like that's just, I mean, to catch that for one, that kind of saves your whole trajectory in total. You can't do that a year later.
Yeah.
A year later, that makes it too late in a sense.
Yeah.
You might miss that whole year.
Yeah, for sure.
So you wind up reclassing that year. You and Tone go to National Christian.
Yeah.
You're playing in a whole different style of basketball. And then
whole style, level of competition crazy.
I was going to ask you about the schedule. How was your schedule, and did you guys go on the road? How was
so
that?
This was like I said, it was just a big adjustment. Like, I'm living with the coach. He got his own family. His son play on the team. What is he older than us though? They got a sister. She's living there. And then at the time, so it's me and my brother Ed. He had 2 other players living with us too. But one didn't make it. He wound up getting kicked out. But one of the guys was named Dante Taylor from New York. He wound up going to Pittsburgh, was a McDonald's All-American. So, and it's a Christian school, so we went in uniform and stuff. Mind you, I've been going to public schools my whole life. Now it's a Christian school. I got tattoos already. So, yeah, so it's like doing school out, they not even supposed to be showing. So we already wearing uniform. Now I gotta wear sweaters. I can't even wear the short sleeve shirt. I gotta wear sweaters and stuff like that. So it was like a big adjustment. And on top of that, this was like the first time I've been on a team with like high D1 prospects. Like, we got other guys going major D1. And it's the first time I'm working on my game. Hitting weights, all that, like,
forced, not forced.
Yeah, forced. I mean, basically forced, because that's what the whole team doing. Yeah. So it's like it's different. It's like opening my eyes up. Mind you, we was an independent school, and we could schedule and play against anybody we want. So now the competition is raised even higher. And once I'm talking to the coach, I'm getting to know the coach, and he coached a young Michael Beasley, young Kevin Durant. Like, man, this shit legit then too. So now I'm like, I'm mind shifting. Now I got, you get what I'm saying? Like, I got a coach that's really investing in me, showing me stuff, breaking stuff down to me. On top of that, I'm working out different. I'm playing against a higher level of competition. And I already was good, but now, like, everything's kind of like changing for me.
You're developing on a personal level at the highest level.
Yeah.
And the fog is gone.
Yeah, it made me take everything serious. At that time, I wasn't really, like, I always took basketball on the court, like the game, serious. Mm-hmm. Now I'm taking workout serious. I'm actually trying in school. It's like a wake-up call. It's like, damn, if I don't get this shit right now, it can get crazy.
But see, that's the thing. Do you think it's a wake-up call, or more so what we was talking about earlier, is just as far as exposure? Like, remember I asked you, did you have...
Both.
You think it was both?
Right, because I still had to go in school and do work. And you get what I'm saying? Like, it was just like taking stuff more serious. Like, and I told you, like, at City, I was getting a couple, like, low D1 schools, but now I'm seeing guys around me.
Yeah.
Now, remember you said at first I wasn't around it. Exactly. Now I'm around it. I got Dante Taylor. He got Pittsburgh coming in here, Maryland, Georgetown. At the time, we had this kid named Joston. He got all these Texas, all these big D1 coaches. They coming in the gym. Now I'm seeing it. So now I'm saying this shit is real. I'm like, damn.
Do you think
David Deadkite? We got all these guys and they get recruited. I'm like, oh yeah, this shit different.
Looking at that from that standpoint, do you kind of just think about that Towson Catholic situation? Because everybody that I talked to I had Dante Green, obviously, that went there, and Drew that was there when they had a little bit of them, like that situation going on. That's what they talked about, the waves of people, like the coaches that came in, like the coaches and assistant coaches that came through, and that kind of like, to me, it blows my mind just to be at practice and have this come through. So this is your first kind of introduction of it. Did you kind of like take it? I'm pretty sure you did, but did you look at it from a standpoint like, I'm gonna take advantage of it? They just coming through here to see them, but I'm gonna get mine too. How did you kind of do that?
Yeah. Once I started seeing the coach, I mean, I already had confidence in my game, and then like I said, everything was just coming together for me. So once they was coming in for those guys, they would ask the coach like, "Who's that?" He's like, "Oh no, that's my new player, sophomore." Now they liking my game. Then the high school season come around, I kill. Now they come to see me.
Now they coming to see you, and I'm glad you said that, because to me, and I could be totally wrong, but like you said a minute ago, that's when everything changed.
Yeah, everything changed.
Because before then, and this is with all due respect and everything, I didn't know who you were to the degree, like. But after that, everybody knew who you were. You know what I mean? And a lot of that's testament to obviously the national schedule, independency, and having to play on a high level. But man, how did you feel like? And you know, I asked you this before too. Did you see the dramatic change?
Yeah, everything.
Like you noticed the dramatic change this time, and you knew that you got a whole lot better.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Just the competition, like I said. I mean, I remember the high school season we played against Rice. They had Kemba Walker, Durant, Barton, Christian came. They had Tyree Evans. Like we just going to these major tournaments. I'm like, damn. At every tournament, I'm either holding my own or I'm out playing people. I'm like, damn. I'm good. Like, and I already knew I was good, but now you saying this and you saying these guys with these names, and I'm doing what I'm doing. I'm like, yeah, I'm really good. Now my confidence is growing, and I'm already a confident guy, but now it's like I got something to stand on it. So I'm like, oh, now it's going to another level, and I'm growing a little bit. I'm always skinny, but I'm feeling myself. I'm getting a little stronger, taking bumps. And then we was just like a family, man. Like I said, like it was different now. Like I said, I told you I never worked on my game, and then now I'm living with the coach. So we living in this kind of like big house, and then the neighbors know like where you can just go hoop. There's no kids so to go hang with. So I'm bored in the house. I'm like, Coach, can we go to the gym? He love that. We go to the gym. Off days, I'm just working hard, putting in work. He's like, yo, you really want this? I'm like, yeah. Then our high school team, we stayed together and played AAU.
Okay, because you know that's my next question.
Like, so that National Christian team, we played AAU together also. So we stayed together. We was like a family, like literally.
The makeup of that team,
and he coached our AAU team too.
Outside of your brother, was the makeup of that team most so guys that were from out there, or was it kind of spread out? Cause
like I said, so we would get guys like I said, Dante was from New York.
Yeah, Dante was. I know you said
he's from New York. We had a couple other guys Springfield, but yeah, most of the guys on that team though was from like that PG, Maryland, or DC area. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what's up, man.
Yep.
So that opportunity, you wind up coming through, it winds up changing your situation.
Yep.
You wind up getting a lot of different views as far as like colleges and what you're going to do in like the later scheme.
Yep. That's when I first got ranked too.
And you go from that point, and you're paying attention to the rankings.
Yeah.
You know who, like they're talking about Tyreek and they're talking about this person.
Yeah, I knew the rankings.
You knew the rankings.
Yeah, I used to be on them. I ain't gonna lie to you. I used to study them. I knew everybody's name because I knew who I wanted to catch in my class.
So now we go back to the question we asked before, which you kind of had you had an overview of who was around or whatever when I asked you about middle school, even in high school. You in 10th grade. You making noise on the national scene, you looking at the rankings. Who was some of the people that you was looking at like, man, when I see him, I know I'm going to see him at this tournament. I got to get him so I can get to this point. Or was it just everybody that was involved that they felt like was better than you at that time?
At that time, it was kind of like I would look at the rankings and see like who they would have in front of me. I'm like, I got to catch this guy, or I got to just keep playing till they say I'm better than this guy. Because at that time, that's when I first got ranked. I was probably like in the 40s. I was in the 40s, probably like 7th in my position. So I was like, I got to get this guy, get this guy, get this guy. But it was at that point, it was a couple guys right here to me. Dion Waiters at my position, Deron Lamb. It's a couple. It was a couple guys. But I really was like trying to be like number one at my position and trying to be like a top 5 player. So, and I was getting recruited. I started getting recruited heavy then. And then that summer, like I said, that summer, spring, that's when I got ranked and all that. And everything felt like it was coming together. Like everything. I'm like, damn, this shit really going how I planned it now. And then boom, I get kicked out of school.
Damn. So you
know, I went to 4 schools.
No, absolutely. We going, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And I'm glad, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm glad that you went there that year.
Yeah.
I went to the States because you was not there yet. So you had National Christian. How did you wind up fair? Like your team fared for that season? Did you guys have a very stable record?
Yeah, we was good.
Felt like it was a successful
Yeah.
situation.
Oh, it was definitely successful.
And then
We was real good.
And then you had the AAU to migrate.
Successful. Yeah, we was winning all year.
Okay. And if you could elaborate on why you got kicked out, what was going on with that? Was it something that was out of your hands, or?
Man, it was two incidents. One I can't even really talk about, and the other one was I got caught cheating on the exam.
Okay.
Last day of school, like a idiot. Get caught, and at the school that's like automatic expulsion if you get like caught on the last day of school because you can't get suspended. You get what I'm saying? So it's like automatic expulsion.
Yeah.
So got expelled, couldn't come back. I was sick. I just remember when they told me I couldn't come back, just crying in the car like, fuck I'm gonna do. I finally got it together, everything together. I'm like, now what I'm gonna do?
You felt like you found the footing.
I found everything I wanted. I was in. I'm like, now what's about to happen? What's about to happen?
So at this time, do you consult with your mom and Rollo, or is this more of a decision that you kind
in my whole circle, me, my mom, Rollo, I had another guy named Hani, Jamal, all my old heads, they remember. And I just remember Rollo and Hans and my mom come to pick me up from school, from National Christian, and we just sit in the car for like 20, 30 minutes. I was crying. I did not want to leave that school. I didn't want to leave the situation. I feel like I let him down. Yeah, it scared me because I was like, damn, what I'm going to do now? What I'm going to do now? Obviously, like at this time, I had built a name for myself. Now, like, I was starting to get out there, so other high schools was, once they found out, everybody wanted to know where I was going to go, but I wasn't even thinking about it at that initial time. I was just looking like, damn, I done fucked up.
Damn.
Yeah.
So now I mean, damn, and even still, once you get to that certain point, just based on this, it's as sad as it sounds, doors are still open. Like, people know who you are, and they still want to, you know what I mean, try to open the doors. Did any other doors open for you from?
The crazy thing is, though, I talk about that too. The crazy thing is, though, mind you, I'm in school in D.C., Fort Washington, Maryland, D.C., what I call it, and I'm playing AAU with them too. So none of my homeboys now back home has seen me for a year, almost a year, basically.
Right.
So I remember the first time I came home, when I got to come home in the summer and hoop.
Back right away.
Cause I'm in the city, I'm barely dunking, barely getting over the rim. I had got a little taller now.
Stronger.
Everything. Now I'm playing above the rim. Nobody had seen me. I don't know what the fuck, yo? Like, what was you doing down there? So it was like a crazy feeling, like, and I feel like I had owed everything to them for that. So I'm like, damn, I don't want to leave. But I just remember making the decision now, like, where I'm gonna go. And Hani was the one. This was one of my other old heads. He like, yo, y'all might as well go to Lake. And I'm in my head at first. I just was kind of like, damn, like, go to a city school, like Catholic League is where it's at, or independent school. I'm like,
you just coming off an independent school.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, I don't know about this. But he was like, nah, I'm telling you, yo, it's going to work. For some reason, he just said it was going to work. And then so my mother was like, all right, Rollo was on board with it. Me and Tom was like, that's where we're going to go. And it's crazy. Another time, we did not know where we was going to go for school for a little while. School had already kind of started, too. Probably like a week in. Probably me and Tom missed the first week of school. I just remember. And I just remember when I was like, yo, we going to Lake. I'm like, yo, we going undefeated. I remember telling the reporter that before the season started, like, we going undefeated. Because I knew they team and who they had coming back. And I'm like, adding me and my brother. And I'm like, yo, I done just became this big time player, playing against all these guys, this schedule. I'm like, it's nothing in Baltimore that's gonna stop me. Like, that's how confident I was. And now I had grew up until that point, I was like average height, everything. I wasn't that fast, I wasn't that athletic. And after that National Christian, like throughout the year, and then boom, that summer I grew. Probably went from like 6'2" to like 6'5".
Right.
Now I'm playing a butter rim. And my game was already smooth, but now the height and the athleticism, now it look even crazier. So I'm like, I'm not losing. Like, I just remember saying that, and I just told my brother, like, when we come back, when we get in the city, I'm not losing to no team. Like, we're going undefeated. Because even at a young age, I understood, like, I'm like, if I'm going to come back to the city, I got to do something that nobody else is doing. I want to stand apart. That was my big thing back then. It was like, yo, I always want to stand alone where you can't say nobody name with mine. So I'm like, yeah, I can go there and dominate, but a lot of players put up numbers at schools. I said, what's going to make me different? Winning the city championship or state championship ain't enough. I got to do something that put me in red air. Like, yo, I got to go undefeated. I understand shit like that at 16, 17. Now, because now, like I told you, my mind didn't change. Now I'm studying the game. I'm studying the greats of basketball, whether it's local NBA player, college player. So I'm getting a better understanding. I'm having conversation about this. So now my knowledge is growing. Like, yo, if I want to be really known as that guy, I got to do something nobody else doing. So I'm going undefeated. I said this before the year. We get the late dominance. Dominant.
That was
28-0.
It was ridiculous.
28-0.
You said some of the players that came back. Cleveland was on that team.
Cleve Mel, my guy. Big loves to Cleve.
Man.
Big love. Cleve was dunking everything on niggas. Cleve dunked everything. Cleve went to
Not Dayton.
DePaul. One freshman of the year in the Big East.
Freshman of the year.
People don't talk about that.
Man, that's remarkable. He was nice.
Freshman of the year in the Big East, though.
Nice. He was nice.
How tough is that?
Very, very tough. I already know. I was on it.
That's crazy, though.
Nice.
People don't even talk about that, though. How hard that is to do, though. It's the Big East.
But you know, it's not a lot of talk that goes on, period, around the town.
Yeah.
They don't talk about a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And they do, but it's not, you know, people don't give it up like that.
Yeah.
But, man, that Lake year, you know, like you said, undefeated, one of the best years basketball-wise you've ever had in your life, just because of the marks you set personally and then the adjustment that you have to make. Now you went through that year, you have another business decision to make. And I know you're in the city, now you kind of got reacclimated to the city, but your mind now is like on a whole nother format. You start to think about, like you said, the rankings is there. You've also kind of projected in the rankings yourself. So you have to carry it a certain way. Playing AAU, who you playing AAU with at this time?
So I told you the year before I played with my school.
Christian?
Now I don't have an AAU team.
You don't have an AAU team at all.
So I got to make a decision.
Exactly.
That summer I had to make a decision.
Who'd you want to play with?
Be More Elite.
Be More Elite.
Yeah.
The white and yellow.
Yeah.
Jones,
Burgundy and yellow.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's when you had the headband on.
Yep. Nike circuit. Yep.
So are you aware, because I know this is when it kind of like shifts to that too, like the Nike circuits and the Adidas circuits and stuff like that. Did you kind of think about that before making the decision to play with Be More Elite, or was it just more or less you playing with them, y'all was Nike, and that's
I had a lot of decisions to make. I mean, at that time, we went undefeated. Like I said, I already had momentum from National Christian, so a lot of people knew who I was. But once we went undefeated up late, and everybody see how my game had just transformed now. So I'm 6'6", 6'5", and it's just different now. So like, a lot of people want me to play AAU with them. I ain't know who I was gonna play with. And then, you know, at that time, usually all the late Clifton players played for Cecil Kirk. My brother wound up playing with Cecil Kirk, and I was gonna play But then I was just like, man, I need to play on this Nike circuit to keep trying to accomplish what I'm trying to accomplish personally. And that was to keep getting my name out there, keep getting more schools, and become like a top 10 player in the country. And I'm like, I got to be on this Nike circuit. That's where the best players at, as far as their names and stuff. So I'm like, I got to play on this circuit.
Yeah.
Baltimore Elite.
It was very important at that time too. I mean, now it's kind of like, everybody knows that you gotta kind of be in certain situations. But back then, that was kind of the beginning of it. So I didn't know if you was involved in that or not.
Yeah.
But playing in that Nike circuit, going into your decision making, what were kind of the things that you had to do? Like, you had your team, obviously, but what was kind of some of the decisions that you had to make outside of that, like picking your next situation for school? Because you reclassed at the last year.
So
what was kind of decision making going into that?
So I knew I was gonna have to go prep, but so once I made my AAU decision, I didn't think about, even though I knew I was gonna have to go to prep school, I didn't start thinking about that towards like the end of the summer and stuff like that. Like, so I played AAU and all that, and then my AAU coach, everybody knew I had to go to prep school too, so prep schools was calling too. So all this shit is a whirlwind.
Yeah.
I'm dealing with who I'm playing AAU with first, what high school I go to, and then I got every college in America recruiting me. So I'm dealing with like all these decisions. So I always wanted to make a decision off a relationship. So obviously every prep school's calling, and Brewster called, and Big Drew had went there, and he had played AAU the year before with my AAU coach, Coach Bud.
Yeah, he mentions Coach Bud a lot.
Yeah, and Coach Bud was cool with them. Coach Bud was my coach. I had a relationship with Coach Bud, like I said. He had a relationship with Jason Smith. So I decided to go to Brewster.
And you had ever been up there before?
At the time, no. I had once I started realizing I had to go to prep school, and I was getting all the different looks. They sent me the brochure and all that. I seen they had a campus, it was good living. I'm like, cool, I'm gonna go there then. Cause some prep schools be the living be terrible.
Like Fort Union, them type of joints.
That's what I'm saying. So when I'm saying they got like a real college campus, like this somewhere a top recruit need to be. I feel comfortable.
And you had the relationship, like you said.
Yep.
You felt the relationship.
Yeah, I felt I knew he wouldn't send me to no bullshit where I wouldn't get along. Where I wouldn't get along with the coaches, or the living would be up or something like that. So yeah.
Because you already at the end of the day, you knew what the next step was, as far as going to the highest level in like as far as recruiting and going to the big D1.
Yeah, I'm already this time, like I said.
You noticed
by the spring, because the AAU wants the new spring rankings. I'm killing AAU the first sessions.
Absolutely.
So when the first new rankings dropped, they got me top 5 in the country, number 1 shooting guard in the country. So now I'm knowing, like where I'm supposed to be doing, how stuff's supposed to be looking, and shit like that. So yeah.
Was there any school like when you was doing that? Was there any school that surprised you when you was on that run that came to holler at you, like, man? Or was it just like, man?
See, with me, that's the funny thing. Nothing ever was surprised because I always planned it. So it wasn't like a real surprise, but it would still be surreal. Like, I know I planned this, but damn, this shit really happening.
Like, was there ever a coach that like shot you?
Oh yeah, Coach Cal.
Coach Cal.
Coach Cal, that was the guy for me.
And you know what's? Oh.
That was the guy for me.
Okay, so is this? He's still. Oh no, he had left by then.
Yeah.
That was his first. We'll get to that.
Yeah.
But damn, Coach Cal.
Yeah. Cause I remember when I was going to National Christian Academy, and that's the year that they had D Rose and they went to the national championship.
He was going crazy.
And I was a big Memphis fan and Derrick Rose fan. So I remember, like, that's when I first started getting kind of recruited. And I used to always tell my coach, like, just let me know when Cal called.
If he called, we go.
Like, that's where I want to go. He already knew.
Go.
That's where I'm going. Yeah.
Damn.
Yep. Man. So when I finally.
But you had them all of them. They was all there. They all came through the.
Oh yeah. Once I got to Lake Clifton, I remember we had an open gym at the high school. I had every coach in America there. Any coach you literally you
In
could
Lake
think
Clifton.
at Lake Clifton, St. Louis Drive in the hood.
Damn.
Any coach you could think about. Bill South, John Calipari. I think Gary Williams still coaching at Maryland.
Coach K.
Jim Boeheim. Coach K wasn't there. Coach K wasn't there though. But like almost every big time program head coach was there to see me. Yeah.
God damn.
For
And
sure.
It was just surreal.
It was crazy because everything was I would just remember like that's the ranks had just dropped. AAU was going on, had just became number one, and we had the open gym up late. They wanted to see me play, so we threw an open gym, my high school team, and I just remember just walking in to get changed because we had, came from school, and I'm looking around like, yo, what the fuck? This shit is crazy. Like everybody you could think of, Rick Bonds from Texas, like. It was just crazy. But when Coach Cal walked in, I was like, yeah, I'm that guy now. I'm that nigga now. Yeah, it is what it is now. I'm like, yeah, it is what it is now.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
That's dope, though, for sure. So, damn, first session go by, second session, you wind up coming up top 5, number 1 shooting guard in the country. Now, the names that you had up there, you done ripped them off the wall. How do you keep the sense of motivation to kind of push and stay there? Like, is it coming from a sense of nervousness, or is it more like, all right, now I'm here, I know I was going to be here, let me just build off of this and go into this next season and know what I need to do? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, at that point, like, I was just like, all right, I got the rank and I am who I say I am. All the schools recruit me. But I never, like, got relaxed because I knew it was just so much more I wanted to accomplish as far as college and then, the ultimate goal, getting to the NBA. So I knew I couldn't relax. Like, it was all good, it was all cool, but I'm like, I still, like, got to get to the league because that's my ultimate goal and to get me out of my situation, take care of, my mom and myself and my family. So I ain't never really was like, yeah, that shit was cool, it was happening. I was excited, but it was just like, all right, just another stepping stone to where I really got to get.
Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing. So you make another thing we've been talking about this whole time is adjustments, but I just want to say that just to show and chronicle the ability to adapt that you have.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of your key strengths, like just looking from the outside in, just all of these different situations, the adaptability is kind of something that's been able to keep you to the top level.
Yeah.
So you go to this school, it's up north.
Northborough, New Hampshire.
Northborough, I mean, it don't even sound like there's nothing out there. Like, you know what I mean?
Nothing.
So
97.3% white.
Google Pasadena, Maryland. That's where I came up at, so I know. Same shit.
But just think about that. My
Oh,
whole life,
Your whole is different.
I've been in Baltimore my whole life.
Very different. So you go up there, and I kind of, to me, when you go up there, it's a little different. Now knowing the whole national Christian situation, I think it might have been a little bit easier for you because of going through that.
No, it wasn't.
It wasn't. It still took a hell of an adjustment.
Because, like I just said, it was mainly white people.
Okay.
Only real people was black was kind of like the athletes.
Yeah.
But the majority of the town, the school was white. And the National Christian was still all black kids, though. Only thing was different was the school wearing uniform. Like a Christian school, so certain things you can't say, but it's still black, still hood. You know what I'm saying? Even though it's not hood, but you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Prep school is different.
Yeah, so
and I got school on Saturdays.
Yeah, so
every other Saturday.
So school
every other Saturday.
You already talked about
like what
you already talked about city was kind of tough.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You have to go to prep school. It's prep. You know what I mean? You're going for the next level. So, you got school on Saturday and all of that. So was it just pretty much that school, and then you go into the gym, and then back to school, and then back to the gym, and back to school? And how is that working for you? I mean, you used to the city.
For the first month, it was miserable for me.
You want to come home?
Yeah.
How many times you want to come home? How many times?
In the beginning, all the time. Besides, only thing that helped me is CJ went up there with me. CJ Fair, so he was my roommate, so we thugged it out together. But at first, I'm like, nah, it's cold as shit. It's snowing like a motherfucker. You know, I'm used to if it snows, school getting canceled.
Yeah.
Nah.
They prepared for all of that.
I'm like, yo, this shit is crazy.
Yeah.
And then it was just like a culture shock, to be honest with you. It was just like a big culture shock.
You feel like it helped you?
Definitely.
Even from an interacting
Definitely.
standpoint?
It just changed your perspective and make the world a little bigger and how you view it. It definitely helped me for college, though, because college is a much, broader and bigger place. So it definitely helped me. But at the time, in the beginning, like, nah, this ain't it. And my coach would always tell me, because he knew it was going to be a challenge for me. He knew where I came from and stuff like that. And he would always tell me, just be patient, give it time. You're going to adjust, you're going to like it. He always would say, like, when you graduate and years down the line, like, you're going to value it. And he wasn't lying.
Right.
Like, now I look back at it, that's how I look at it. It was like a real good situation. It really helped me, helped grow me, change my mindset on things. Like, one of my best friends in life today is a guy that went there. The guy that went to Brewster. Didn't play basketball, nothing. One of my best friends in life.
That's dope.
And it helped me basketball crazy, though. You got to think my whole team. So now you go from playing in the city and all that to now you playing against fifth years, seniors. Guys are older, stronger, better. And every night you playing against, at the minimum, 4 Division I players. Like, on my team, we had 7 Division I guys. So just our practices was crazy. Like, crazy. And
7 Division I guys, starting 5 at least, and then, that second 5 is usually decent anyway, but to have 3 studs on there.
And every night you playing against at least 3 to 4 Division I players. So it was like, that got me ready for college. That grew my game and got me better. And we wound up, like you told me, Drew said he opened the doors for it, but really I did. We brought the first national championship to Brewster Prep. We won the knapsack, so that's like a state. That's like almost like the state tournament, and we won the national prep tournament all in one year. The first time in Brewster history.
Damn. Who was the toughest competition you played up there? Because he was up there. I mean, when he was talking about it, he had Isaiah Thomas was out there.
That's what I'm saying. There was a lot of guys. Andre Drummond was in our league.
Yo, that's the biggest human being I think I ever seen in my life too, yo.
Yeah,
I was in an elevator with this nigga in Orlando.
Yeah.
Bro, he's probably the biggest nigga I ever seen in my life, yo.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Nah.
His rookie year too. It was a summer league that year. I was in Orlando down there in the hotel.
Yeah.
Biggest nigga I ever seen.
Yeah. But it was a lot, yo. Every night.
That's crazy.
Every night.
That's incredible.
Every night.
You wound up being the MVP of the situation and all of that.
Oh yeah, you know that.
You
know that. You know that. All that come with it.
Yeah.
All that come with it.
Successful though. Another successful situation that you set out to have.
Yeah,
like Clifton, and you wind up closing it with the Brewster thing.
Yeah.
When did you wind up making your college decision, and who was the final cut?
I wound up committing the summer, my junior year. So going into the same year, but it was the summer.
Okay.
I wound up committing to Memphis.
And that was from Memphis. You said you had the affinity for Memphis already, so you kind of knew that you were going to go there, or was it anybody?
So when Cal went to Kentucky, I was supposed to go to Kentucky. I originally committed to Kentucky. Yeah, that's why I was really. Everybody know that. That's why I was really supposed to go. That's why I committed to.
So you were supposed to go to Kentucky in that first class with Cal.
No, I would have been the second class. Remember, I was in 2010.
Sorry.
Yeah, I would have been the second class. So I'd have been after John Wall and DeMarcus Cousins.
Yeah, I think that's what I had. You'd have been with. Yeah.
No, Anthony Davis was.
That was 2 after that?
Anthony Davis was a class under me. I would have been me, Brandon Knight. Yeah. Me. Yeah. He wouldn't have went there if I was going there. No, I'm just saying because we played the same position, so I don't think he would have went there if I was going there.
Well, ultimately led you not because you had already made your decision, or
you
said you had committed.
I had committed to Kentucky with Coach Cal. Yeah.
So was it something that had that changed your mind at the last minute, or was it
It really was my mom.
Okay.
she out of nowhere, she just was like, you and Tony ever think about playing college ball together? Because at the time, we weren't really thinking about it. Even though we had played our whole life together, we never really thought about going to college. He was going to do his own thing. I was going to do my own thing. Because we both was getting recruited. D1. So.
Did he go to Tennessee or was he supposed to go to Tennessee?
No, he went to Tennessee. But that was after. First he went to Memphis.
Okay.
But so.
I always get that mixed up.
Yeah. He was going to go to Miami. And I was going to go to Kentucky. So. Everything was locked up. And then my mom was just like, yo, y'all ain't never thought about going to the same school. And when she said that, we kind of start thinking about it, like, damn, that would be tough. Like, we play college together. And then we start thinking about it. And then that's when we had a real good relationship with one of the assistant coaches at Memphis. And the crazy thing was he was at Kentucky. They basically swapped jobs. He was at Kentucky before Cal got there. And he was like one of the first big high D1 schools to recruit me. His name was Glenn Cyprian.
Okay.
And so he knew that I wanted to play for Coach Cal. So when he got fired from Kentucky, he was like, yo, I know you're going to, go play for Coach Cal. So that's cool because Coach Cal was at Memphis. Then he took the Kentucky job. So they got fired from Kentucky.
Yeah.
And Cal took that job. So he was like, yo, I know you're going to, you want to play for Coach Cal. Go ahead. Woo. And then he wound up getting the Memphis job.
So swap it out.
So he swapped out. And then he was like, yo, I know Will, you going to Kentucky. He's like, man, just visit Memphis first. And I was like, you know what, I'm going to just go visit there just because he's one of the first coaches to recruit me. Like, I owe him that. You get what I'm saying? And we got down there, and they wanted me and my brother. And my mom was just talking about us playing together. And we went down there and committed. Had no plans of doing it. We just got down there and committed.
Man. So that was, off the strength of moms right there.
Yeah, moms made that happen.
Oh, that's so crazy.
She did that.
I never even thought it would imagine it to happen like that. Like that's a difference. You know what I mean? Like that's a different style. Usually when you get to that, other than maybe a certain couple people that you hear about, Gary Payton and all that shit, when you get to that level, 9 times out of 10, the player, he can kind of ultimately make his decision. You know what I'm saying? You had the trust and belief in the faith of your mom to understand that situation.
Yeah, she didn't just say go to Memphis. She just was saying play together. And they was one of the schools that was recruiting both of us.
Yeah.
And we got down there, and we fell in love with it. We just committed. So, before that, we had never really thought about playing together. We never even really talked about it. Because that year, we split up from school. He didn't go to Brewster with me. He went to Notre Dame Prep. So, we was kind of split up anyway. And we never really thought about, and we didn't play AAU together. So, we wasn't really thinking about playing college together until she said it. Once she said it, we was like, damn, that'd be tough.
Yeah, that's different.
Yeah.
That's different.
Yeah.
So y'all get to Memphis. Now, after everything you done been through, and I didn't go too far into, like I said, your personal life, but are you the first people in your interior family to go to college? In the interior family? Or did your sisters go? Did your sisters wind up going to college? Mom or pops go to college? Or are you two the first two to go to college?
I think out of I'm trying to think. I don't know if my sister went to college on my dad's side. I don't even know if she went.
Okay.
I know my sister that I grew up in the household with, she didn't.
Okay.
My dad went to college though.
Okay.
Because I told you he had a scholarship up Towson, and then he quit. So yeah, he went to college for a little while. I don't know how long. I ain't never asked him. I got to ask him that.
So now how is this adjustment? How are you? Because this is different, man. Like going to college. Finding this out from my personal gain. It's like this is not you going to live with your coach.
Yeah.
It's not you going to live with nobody but you and your growing imagination and maturation of yourself.
Yeah.
You got roommates down there, which maybe is it your brother? You got your brother?
No, I ain't have a roommate. I had my own room.
You just had your own. So
yeah.
Man, come on, like you coming into this situation. You're kind of already a little bit older though and mature because of your whole past year.
Yeah.
But still, it's different.
Yeah, it's definitely still different.
You're on a campus with thousands and thousands and thousands of people. And,
Yeah.
You know what I mean? How is that buffer and difference for you?
Everything was just like, I was just so big, like.
Yeah, it was just different.
Like, it's just different. Like, to go to a school and you such a big time recruit, so everybody know who you are before you even get there, so they're excited for you when you actually get there. It's crazy.
Did you know it was going to be like that, or did you?
Yeah, I knew it was going to be like that.
Did it still take some time to get acclimated to it?
Yeah, just because now I'm here.
Yeah.
Like, after you go on your visit, you got the midnight mass and all that, so you kind of see, like, okay, it's a big deal. I'm kind of a big deal to the school or whatever. But once you get to really be down there full time and see it, it's like crazy. And I had was kind of used to it. Like I said, I went to National Christian, lived away from my family. Went to Brewster, lived away from my family. So I kind of had a little, you know what I mean? I was kind of used to living on my own, if that kind of makes sense. But even though I had my brother with me.
Right.
So I was kind of used to that, living away from home and not being in the city and stuff like that.
Now, Memphis, being at that time, you've already played on a national scale, but now being in Memphis and they're popping at this time, you're going to be on national TV.
Yeah.
Everything is about to change up. And did you start to notice like little changes as far as your circle and how you handle certain things, like when you got to that point? Because outside of Dante that I've interviewed, Sean was obviously great in his respective right, but you and Dante kind of reached like that realm of being in the, you know what I mean, the top of the top, and so the exposure is different. As freshmen, you guys both went through that thing. So did you kind of notice a change within yourself, within your circle, and how you kind of handle things with people, like your trust factor and who you talk to, and did you have communication with people on campus, or were you that personable on campus still, or did you kind of like shut off because you knew what you had to protect?
I was kind of like in between, so nobody got into like my inner circle. We already had that sold up, but still on campus, I still would talk to people, make friends, have fun and stuff like that. But as far as like decision making and stuff like that, I already had that sold up. Like nobody came in and made decisions or helped make decisions or nothing like that though.
Okay.
Yeah, that part it was too late at that point to get in. Yeah, I had the same like friends and people that helped make decisions probably since 9th, 10th grade, so it was over with.
That comes from the sturdy background.
Yeah, it was over with.
Yeah, for sure. So now, obviously, you know, there's a beginning part. Again, we don't play the fall sport, but in college, the workload is different as far as classroom and as far as from a basketball standpoint. You've already been at a higher level of competition, prep-wise, and all of that stuff. But I'm sure there was a different level once you get there too.
Yeah.
Kind of talk about that first level, like when you notice, like, oh, this is a little bit different.
I mean, from which standpoint? Because all of it was different.
Like, you know, I mean, this your freshman year. Well, yeah, your freshman year there. So, was it like a practice, or was it like your pre-season workouts where you were like, man, this is psycho. Like, I don't know what they thinking, but
the first practice after Midnight Madness, because that's when the season officially began. So we had our Memphis Madness. That joint was crazy. We all go out after club. I remember the dude Spoon, Wesley Witherspoon, was like, yo, you know we got practice tomorrow. I know we having fun, but you know, y'all might want to. And you know, I'm young, I ain't listening, I'm a freshman. I'm like, man, it's basketball at the end of the day. Like, how hard could it be? Man, I'm out all night, mind you. We got to be at the gym at like 6. Yo, when that shit came around, and we was out all night, I'm like, yo, I can't believe I got to get up. Man, they ran the shit out of us. I was pissed. I'm like, yo, I've been out all night. Like, and you know how that is. I'm like,
definitely.
I mean, that motherfucker like, man, I can't wait till this shit end. Man, they running this shit out of us.
And that's a different thing, man. Like that level, like again, that level is just
Yeah,
different.
it's different.
And like you could be able to get away with that before. Like you could go out and party, do whatever, but it's like, man, at this level, and even with having
It was just the first time,
freedom,
too.
the first freedom.
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? Because again, you're not staying with nobody. You make
Yeah.
your own decisions
Yeah.
at this point.
Yeah.
So yeah, we out all night. We gonna go ahead, you know what I mean, do what we do. But man, I always ask that just to see. What
And as a freshman, like, as you get older, you know how to adjust. You
Yes.
can do it, but when you don't know what you about to do and you doing all this shit for the first time, I was in that. Boy, I don't know how I made it. I barely made it through that.
rude awakening.
Rude awakening.
So, teammates wise, you had your brother on the team. Who were some other teammates that you kind of took a liking to when you first got there that you kind of built with and you kind of like navigated your time with to get through?
I mean, like I said, my personality, I get along with everybody on the team, so
Right.
that was never like a problem. Like, who I hung with the most though, probably Chris Crawford, my freshman year, Chris Crawford, Joe Jackson, Tard. I mean, you gotta realize our freshman class was crazy. We had like 8 freshmen in my recruiting class, so we all was kind of like. We damn near like a gang, you get what I'm saying? Like we all came in together, so we all was hanging. It was like we all hung together for real.
Okay.
My man Carl Mooch, that was like my brother. He's still my brother to this day. Yeah.
Okay. So freshman year, season starts, and how do you feel like you kind of fared as far as your freshman year? You know,
Man, I was doing good, and then right before like. I had got hurt in the preseason.
Yeah.
Like I had like twist my ankle, messed my knee up. So I had missed like the first preseason game, one of them. And then I think I came back like the last one or whatever. I got hurt. And then I remember we opened up the season with Miami. No, just Miami. Miami was the sophomore year. We played Miami on ESPN at Memphis. And I ain't start because I was just coming back from my injury. I was pissed. But we won the game, though, but I ain't do shit or nothing, so I was mad. You know, I used to think, especially back then, like, I ain't going to go to the league. I ain't starting. I ain't play good, shit like that. And it just made me realize, like, how good guys was. Even though I was, like, this big-time recruit, it's like, damn, guys really good. Like, I still got to get better. I still got a lot to work on. And shit like that. The freshman year was up and down though. I mean, I played for a regular freshman. I had a good year. I led us in scoring. Probably averaged like 12, 13 or whatever. But for what I wanted to accomplish, it was like kind of up and down. For my freshman year, we was such a young team. You gotta realize, like, new head coach. It was only his first year.
Yep.
We got 8 freshmen. All of us really playing. So it was like. I ain't really had nobody kind of lean on either.
Nice.
Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, only other dude I had was Spoon, and he was good, but he kind of got, like, hurt that year, so he was kind of, like, up and down. So I, like, kind of had to, like, figure out a lot of shit on my own.
I can totally get that. It's when I first asked about the teammates you was close with, you was naming all guys that was freshmen, and I really had no vet presence like that at that point. So you kind of figured it out on your own.
Yeah, the team was made of underclassmen, really. So 8 freshmen, only what, 14, 15 guys on the team.
People, yeah.
Half of us freshmen. So it's just like, and most of the upperclassmen that was there, they weren't playing besides Spoon. So it was just like, I was already kind of a leader going into it. Like, even most freshmen, even good freshmen, great freshmen, even one and done freshmen, they usually don't have to be the leader on the team. You get what I'm saying? It was like, damn, I got to come here and be the leader and best player. So it was like different for me. I had to mature, grow. It's like different being a leader when you a senior on your high school team. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
you the guy, but now you're asking a kid to lead people that's older than them, that's been there longer than them. So it was an adjustment for me.
Damn, man. So you shoulder that and you kind of carry that load for the freshman year, being one of the heralded freshmen for one coming in and then performing as that.
Yeah.
as the likening to all of your other summers, did you kind of approach that summer and then take your metric stick from before? Like you was kind of looking at it like, all right, I realize guys are good.
Yeah.
I realize where I gotta go. Is that kind of what you did going into summer? And what was different that you did that summer?
Definitely. I just locked in. So I didn't even come, at the season, when the summer, you can go home for summer break and then come back. I just stayed in Memphis and just worked on my game the whole time. Like, I was locked in. I knew, like, this will be my last year in college. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, once I say it and I really lock in, like, I remember just having a meeting with the coach. Because Rolo told me, like, yo, you serious about this? You got to get on the same page with the coach. You got to show you want to be a leader. You got to lock in with him. So I remember I just hit him one day and asked him, could I talk to him? I went to his office. This was in the summertime. And I just asked him, man, I'm like, man, what do I need to do to to help this team win? You trust me and, get all we can get out of this season. Because I was like, I ain't coming back. This will be my last year.
Right.
Like, no matter how the year go, this going to be it. So you might as well just let me know what I got to do so we can get the best out of it. And when he told me, he's like, man, I need you to be a better leader. We're a young team. We don't really have no leader. I need you to be a leader. And not just by your words, but your actions. And he said, I need you to rebound. I said, cool. He said, I got you. I went out there. I was the first to the gym every day, last one to leave. I had put a little routine together for me. And I went out there and averaged 8 rebounds a game.
Yes, you did. Led the team scoring.
Yeah, it's just a more serious approach. I had a way more serious approach.
It was more, from like I said, it's outside looking at it was way more of a polished situation.
Yeah.
Like you spoke about having the raw aspect of coming from playing on the playground or whatever. But at that point, by sophomore year, even with all of the other stuff, the structure and the polishedness of the game came, and I feel like that's when, like you say, you knew, but it's like that league, it was just that. That's the only thing that you can go from here.
Yeah.
Because it was that polished, it was your speed, you could tell it was your style.
Yeah.
And it wasn't, man, it was, it's just crazy to look at, because watching it, and I'm knowing how close I am to it, because I'm hearing my niggas talk about this all the time. I'm with Eric, with Kyle, especially Eric Wallace. He used to talk about this shit every day. My nigga going to the league. I'm telling you right now, going to the league, blah, blah, blah. But like, bro, you need to be focused. You can go to the league. But anyway, but that polishness, I definitely noticed that as well. And just to see how you kind of navigated that summer, locked in, didn't come home, it all makes sense.
Yep.
You had that season. You feel like it was a successful tenure of those 2 years when you were at Memphis?
Hell yeah.
From a total standpoint of
definitely
everybody gained from both parties. And
definitely. I mean, everybody thought the program was going to fall off because Coach Cal left, and we kept it going. I mean, we went to the NCAA tournament both years. Second year, we won the first year we won the conference tournament title. Went to the NCAA tournament. The second year, won the regular season title, conference title. I think we only lost like 2 games in the conference, dominated, went to the tournament again. So I feel like my 2 years definitely, I mean, you couldn't really ask for more unless, won a national championship, but dominated.
I've watched a few of your interviews, but I don't really get to see you talk about it as much. You know what I'm saying? Go diving into it as much as what you was doing there. That second year at Memphis is very legit. You know what I'm saying? To be able to be player of the year, win the conference. Like, I don't care what conference it is across the country. Like, that's not easy to do. As a sophomore, it's even more phenomenal feat. So
definitely.
I respect that for sure. I always wanted to tell you that too. That's
appreciate that.
That's something to respect.
And it was Memphis. We had a bullseye on our back.
Come on now.
Every game. And our non-conference schedule was tough. So it was like, it doesn't matter. I was doing that to anybody. What
was your favorite game that you played down there? Like the one that you remember the most?
We had a couple. As far as like the freshman year, I can name so many, but the best one my freshman year is just the tournament championship. We needed that game to get in the NCAA tournament. We was playing against a senior team, led team that was predicted to go to the NCAA tournament the whole year. I think they won the regular season title, if I'm not mistaken. And I knew they had wanted to beat Memphis for so long. They thought they had us because we was all freshmen. And they blew us out in the regular season, too, by like 20.
Oh, so they definitely thought
30, something like that. And then we played them in the conference tournament championship at their gym. And they was beating us that game, too. And we came back and beat them. Crazy.
Pandemonium in there.
Crazy. I think my sophomore year, I had a lot of good games. Probably the ESPN game against Miami, I had like 27 and 14. And we won the game. Yeah, that was probably like, I think that was like the game I liked the best my sophomore year. But freshman year, definitely coming back, winning that game, and we needed it. It was crazy. It was crazy. Yeah, Memphis was crazy.
I can't imagine that scene around Memphis back then, boy.
One of the best two years of my life, man. I tell people all the time.
I can't imagine, yo.
See, it's crazy.
I can't imagine. Now, man, it's everything that we didn't work for at this point. Now, it's really starting to show its head. Like you really, the dream that you put together is not a dream anymore.
Yeah.
You really have to put yourself in position to make a firm decision. And what was it? Oh, you said it before the season that you was gone regardless.
Yeah, my mind was made up.
Mine was made. Now this time has come. Is it more like a nervous feeling, or is it more or less like, all right, man, like it is what it is. I'm gonna see where the chips fall. This wherever I'm gonna go is where I'm gonna go. But or did you have like a set plan, like I want to go here, or how did you kind of approach that going into that draft that year?
I think the process, you feel a lot of different things. Nervousness just because you're doing something for the first time that you never did before. I'm walking away from college, like I said, the best 2 years of my life. And not just basketball, just having so much fun. So it's like, damn, you want to give all this up? Obviously, you chasing something. So you just feel so many different emotions. I did the feedback, though, everybody. I knew I was going to get drafted, just a matter of where. So it's just a lot of different emotions at one time, man. I remember working out. I worked out in Houston. That's where I did all my pre-draft work, working out with John Lucas. I remember one day in there, a dude named Luther Head played in the NBA. Man, he bust my ass so bad in there.
With the Illinois?
Yep. Luther Head bust my ass so bad in there. I was like, damn, I don't know if I'm ready for this shit. I might need to go back to college. No bullshit. I remember going back to my hotel room saying that, and I was down there with Rolo, and he like, man, nah, it's just new to you. Once you get the hang of it, you're going to be good, like you always do. And once he said that, it was just like I said, any new chapter or new something I'm trying to overcome, I just learn as much as I can. Like, I really take the learning stage serious and soak up everything I can, make adjustments, because I know I'm new to this. I'm playing against a pro. I've never been a pro. I've been a college player, so it's like I'm just learning. But I just always was like, man, I just come back better every day. Learn, grow, become hungry, and everything will work out. And that's how it would go. That's how my process was, like, as far as my workouts and stuff like that.
How many teams did you have to work out for?
I worked out for a lot of teams. I think I had like 15, 14 workouts that. Yeah, I worked out for a lot of teams, man. Thought I was going to go. I was supposed to go to Chicago, 29th, 28th pick. They basically tell me, like, man, we don't even think you're going to be there. We think about trading up to get you, but if you there, we definitely taking you.
Chicago, 2010.
2012.
2012.
2012 draft. They wound up taking Marcus Teague.
Yeah, Marcus
Teague. They wound up taking Teague, man. I remember slipping. I wound up going 40 if I was sick. even that night was just different. And most like I got drafted, and at first I wasn't even like happy. Can you imagine that? Like I got drafted, and I was just like, this is some bullshit. And then when my mother talked to me, and she made me realize, oh yo, this shit's still a blessing, and you gonna make it happen. So I went from being mad, crying and shit, to like happy.
You was mad and crying about the being drafted.
Yeah,
because I
wanted to go first round.
Yeah.
I thought I was gonna go higher. I mean, everybody had me. Every mock draft had me going first round. All the feedback said I was going first round, top 20. So it was like to be expecting to go at a certain and then drop. Cause I got scared. Like, what the fuck going on? Like, I supposed to have been caught. And then, yeah.
Is there any particular reason why anything surrounding why you would drop further like that, or? Because I'm asking because I just keep hearing Marquise Teague and wondering what's going on around here. And
all I'm gonna say is shit just happens sometimes.
I mean, I hear that a lot. Like, it's more of a business thing, or whatever. Yeah. But somebody got to start opening the eyes around here. You know? Yeah. Some of this shit is plain as day.
Yeah, you see it happen every year, though.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, it's crazy. But just to hear your experience to come through that, man, like you said, something that's such a blessing.
Yeah.
But you were still you still were kind of disappointed in a sense.
Yeah.
But man, you're one of a few people. Like I told Kirk Lee this, like, man, I'm super proud of you, dog, because you're one of literally handfuls of people that actually made it to. I mean, people that we want to make the NBA, dog. No matter who it was, we wanted to play in the league. It don't matter who it is that picked up a basketball. You was able to accomplish that. You're proud of that. You know what I'm saying? We respect you for that. And then, you know, I'm gonna close on that later, but about the longevity that you've had. But even to make it there, dog, super proud of you. You know what I'm saying? And I know that moment had to be somewhat of a super elated moment. Besides the tears.
Once I calmed down,
once you calmed down, how was
and my
that?
mom talked to me. Once my mother talked to me, and I just put everything in perspective, the shit she was saying to me, that's when then I started crying tears of joy, and I was elated, I was happy, I was excited. I was just like, damn, all these years, all this faith, all this believing, I wasn't crazy. I wasn't crazy. I knew this what it was going to be. Like, I never wavered from 6 to that moment. Like, when it didn't look good, I always knew that, I'm going to end up here. Like, this just what it is. Like, I can't do I ain't going to be doing nothing else. Like, this just what it is.
That's amazing, yo.
Yeah.
It's a blessing again. It's a blessing.
Definitely.
God damn. So, you get drafted. Where you go when you get drafted?
Portland.
Another extreme.
Portland. Didn't even work out for Portland.
Baltimore, New Hampshire, or Baltimore, DC, New Hampshire,
Memphis. Yeah.
Portland.
Yeah.
So now you're on the West Coast.
Yeah.
I know you had traveled there probably a few times to AAU and stuff like that.
Yeah, I had just went out there. Not just went out there, but that's where we had the Nike Hoop Summit game for like the world against the USA. So I had been out there once before.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Portland, the city, how'd you like that, man? Getting out there as a pro?
It was cool, man. I was young as shit, 21 years old. It rained all the damn time, but it was cool, man. Like I said, I always get along with all my teammates. You know, I'm gonna find my way around the city, meet people. People really took into me. You know, I always gonna be humble and respect where I'm at, shit like that. So it was always, man, it was cool, man. Besides the point that I wasn't playing.
Right.
Other than that, it was cool, but that part was tough for me.
That's what I want to ask you. Like, you as a pro, this is not like it's a college situation where you can call somebody or the third or none of that.
It's grown man shit.
Grown ass man shit. You know what I mean? So, with that being said, you're not playing when you get there. You're coming from being a guy that was the guy literally for the last 12, 13 years of your life. We've been talking about adjustments and adaptation. You just said it was tough. But how did you get through this situation? What was the circumstance? You just weren't playing because of the hierarchy, or was it the development, or did you?
There was a little bit of everything when I look back at it. Like going through it, you always think you should be playing and you're ready. But I don't think I should have been playing at that time. I don't think I was ready.
You think about
Talent-wise, yeah, I was ready. But, like, maturity and game-wise, I wasn't ready to contribute to a winning team. That's what I mean. Like, I look at basketball as winning. Like, obviously, I could have been out there playing and doing anything. But I'm saying to help a team win, I wasn't ready yet. And but I'm saying at that time I didn't know it. I'm saying looking back at it, but it was tough, man. It was a huge adjustment. Like you said, I just came up from being the man, and now I'm not playing at all. At first it was real tough, and then I would talk to like the veterans on my team, Jared Jeffries, Darrell Wright, Mo Williams, Earl Watson. I had some real good vets, and they would always tell me, like, yo, you got game, you nice for real. You know, it's going to happen. You just got to wait your turn. And when that happened, like, guys that I looked up, growing up, watching my whole life, tell me I was good, that meant something to me. The respect from guys I looked up to, looked and seen play on TV from college to the NBA, and they telling me, like, nah, shorty, you nice. Like, damn. I must be nice. And that changed my whole attitude. Because at first I'd be mad I ain't playing. Whoop-de-whoop. But then when they told me that, and I would be having success in practice and stuff like that, I was like, all right. Like, I just got to be a good teammate, be cool, be who I am, basically. Don't try to be nothing I'm not. Don't try to pout and become an asshole or somebody that people don't want to be around, because that ain't who I am. Just because I'm not playing, just not my turn yet. And once I hit that switch, like it's not my turn yet, but it's going to be, it made the adjustment easier. Still was tough because you want to play, but I was just like, all right, I just got to keep working hard, busting my ass when I can, and eventually my time going to come. And that's what happened.
So in Portland, that was kind of like, to me, now at this point, it's like Portland is just like a stopover. This is kind of like just
I developed, though.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's a stopover to where as though you here, you picking up and getting acclimated to the speed, learning the process, talking to your vets here and there. You got
learning how to become a pro.
The respect from your peers is the most important, like you said. And you learning how to become a pro. Now, how do you move forward and get to the Denver situation? Just to kind of.
So now I'm already 3 years in, so I'm like, I already know I'm good. Mm-hmm. It's just like I need the opportunity. Once I got traded there, they was losing at the time, so I knew they was going to play the young players. And from day one, I was just ready to go. Like, that's the thing about the NBA. And that's the thing about life, period. Just being ready when your number's called. I was putting in the work. I stayed being a good person, being a good teammate, and I worked hard. So I knew my talent was there, too. So I was like, yo, once somebody let me play, it's over.
It's a wrap.
And that's what it was. I never looked back after that.
You stepped into Denver with a whole different, man, it was like a whole different vibe. Like you said, you spoke on it, you said it, I don't want to just keep repeating it, but you just got acclimated as a pro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You could just, another polish point.
Yeah.
Go to Denver, you're a totally different player, totally polished player. I know you talked about the Kobe situation with you and Kobe.
Yeah.
By that time, it's like you understood the conversation.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And then you developed on that and then pushed yourself to become the more polished player that you became.
Yeah.
And nobody ever, well, we'll get to that. The all-time three-pointer. Niggas was hating about that. That was another crazy point, too. Like, because you would never think something like that from the outset. But to get that at the end of the day is wild.
Yeah.
So when you get to Denver, is this when you start to say you feel comfortable as a pro? Like, totally comfortable?
I felt totally comfortable, like, in Portland, like, after my first year.
Even with not playing like that?
Yeah, because like I said, you know, we still have practices. In the summer, we got open gyms and stuff like that. So I'm playing against pros, and I'm doing my thing. So I'm like, I know I'm good at this point now. It's just, in the times I did get in games, I would do well. Like, I still had 20 and 10 games as a rookie, because at the end of the season, they played me. I would go out there and play good. Even a playoff game, we lost to the Spurs my second year there, and the only game we won, I had a double-double. So I was like, I know I can play now. Like, it's proven. Now I just got to get the opportunity. So I already felt comfortable after my first year. After my first year, I felt comfortable.
Now, again, you're in Denver, and you solidified now. You go from being a man, like I said, 13, 14 years, to not really playing like that, to really establishing yourself in a role, in a offense and a team that's like really needing for that.
Yeah.
So becoming quote unquote a role player.
Yeah.
How was that adjustment for you? I mean, obviously you don't have, to me, you have the confidence, but the ego is not like something I can say that you have. But how was that something that you had to move into to kind of adjust to playing with the players you played with you know what I mean, with Murray and, you know, you got Jokic coming in at a certain point, you know what I mean? Was he here the whole time you were there?
Yeah, Jokic was there.
Coming into his own.
Yeah, he was there.
A couple years, you know what I mean, as you were in there. So how was that to play around those players? And you know what I mean. Importantly, you were around Dame, but now you're starting to be. This team is like really got a chance to be competitive.
Yeah, like you said, just being in Portland preparing me. Like certain things are already in place. LaMarcus was the guy. LaMarcus Aldridge, Dame Lillard. So you know, once I got to Denver and I was able to establish myself, you know, it's still other guys that are the guys. You know what I'm saying? Like so. It's a team game at the end of the day. Like, what I'm going to go out there and be mad that they made these guys the guys? No, I'm going to just go out there and still do me, but you got to be able to fit in and do you. Like, I know guys that play basketball, and once they play on teams with other guys just as good as them or better than them or just guys that are in place to do certain things, they can't figure it out and still be good. Like I said, I've always been able to be me no matter what. So I wasn't worried about that. It's a game. It's basketball. It's not me out there playing tennis.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I got to go out there and be able to fit in. And I was always comfortable in my own skin. Like, what can you say about me? Like, I've always got buckets. So it's like my whole life. Like, even in the NBA, you seen me have 30. Against your favorite player. So it's not like I don't have nothing to prove as far as like I'm gonna go out there and do some crazy stuff. No, this is my role. This is what they chose. This is what it is. And you keep work hard and to elevate your role. Like I worked hard to elevate it. So it's like we all want to be the superstar or the star. That just didn't happen. But you can still be a star of your role. You can still be respected as a bucket, as a good basketball player. So with me, it was always like just being comfortable with my own skin. I always had my own aura, my own vibe, my own, you know what I mean, my own little swag. And my teammates just, they love me for that. Like,
I think I heard the phrase "one of none" before.
Yeah, like I was walking around like I was the man. Like you can't let that's some hating shit if you just can't handle nobody else getting attention. Like I always value a person like. If it's me, Jay-Z, and Michael Jordan all in the same room, I'm still me. Like, I'm still going to be me. Nothing stop me from being me. I ain't got to hate. I ain't got to do nothing extra. I'm me. Like, I'm still going to stand out without even, just by just being me. That's just how it go.
That's thorough. At this point now, man, you getting to the 3-year mark with Portland, you go to Denver, but now like you start to look up, you 5 years in the league, 6 years in the league, 7 years in the league, but can you kind of talk about some of the moments where, like I know you've already spoken about the one with Kobe.
Yeah.
Was there any other moments that you had with like other legends, like even with Melo? We haven't really talked about Melo this whole time, but I know you guys have a solid relationship.
Yeah.
But what was that first encounter like, seeing Melo out there and seeing Kevin Durant out there and talking to some of these guys locally that are out there in the league? Like, how was that interaction for you to see a bunch of Maryland or DMV you know what I mean? Like, how was that interaction for you guys?
Crazy. I just remember, at my rookie season, I played against KD in New York in the summertime. We was playing at Rucker, it got rained out, so we moved the game to Gaucho's gym, and we went at it up there. And I remember him tweeting me like Shorty got game. I'm like, damn, like this one of the best players in the league already saying I got game. So it's just like shit like that would just motivate me. Or like when I first started having success in Denver, and you know, Melo would holler at me. It was like, yo, I'm proud of you, what you doing, and shit like that. Like, I just always wanted to stand on my own, though. You get what I'm saying? Like, that's how I always wanted that shit. I never wanted to like be under nobody else or get nobody else wave. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, when I was at Port, I could have been up under Dame all the time or LaMarcus. You get what I'm saying? Or try to latch on to Melo because he's from Baltimore or shit like that. But I wanted guys to respect me for what I did. And that's how I created my whole wave, my whole game. Just earning respect. You get what I'm saying? Like, putting in work and doing what I need to do, and people would catch on and catch attention, and that's what happened with me. Like, I wasn't gonna run up under nobody though. You get what I'm saying? Like, I was gonna make people be like, just respect me. That's all it was with me. Like, and that's how I wanted it, just to do my own thing, and I did that.
I always wanted that for myself because I obviously see the interaction
Yeah.
on TV and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
it would be from the work though. It wasn't from me just,
Yeah.
you know, reaching out or like, you know what I mean. Like when I start to, like when guys like Jamal Crawford would hit me up or to be like, yo, you got game. Like, damn, this somebody I used to watch all the time, and he hollered at me because he see me putting in work. Like that's what drive me, especially at that time, coming in and coming up, because I was the young guy, but I wanted people to with me because of what I was doing, not because I wanted to be. I'm a super fan or I'm trying to. No, I wasn't with all that.
Man, that's extraordinary, man. That again, that experience is not like a lot of other people. They don't get to have that.
Yeah.
So I always wanted to know that real quick. Just to kind of summarize your time in as a Nugget. You know what I mean? I know it was like one of the most. I wouldn't say one of the most. It was the most prolific point of your career being in Denver. Yeah. How would you kind of categorize your time in Denver, and what was your high point, maybe one of your low points about Denver?
I always say a high point is just going there, and you know, we were a bad team when I first got there, and being one of the main guys to turn it around and get us to the playoffs, to see that growth will always be a high. Obviously, my individual, going from not playing to Portland to becoming, you know, a household name in the NBA, being known as a scorer, getting to compete in the dunk contest, holding the record for the most 3-pointers until Jamal passed me this year. All highs. Lows probably just getting injured, obviously. Just missing out on the playoffs a couple times for being injured and stuff like that. But you know, even the lows, man, I just look at them as learning experiences and being able to just grind in the summertime and get better, make me mentally tougher. So I mean, it ain't never too bad if you take those lows and try to make something out of it, something positive.
Man, I wanted to ask that because I didn't know if you was going to talk about it or not, but the injury situation before I think it was the second playoffs, might have been the second time you were hurt in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Man, I swear that was like the worst timing. Yeah. Like, it wasn't the worst injury.
Yeah, timing. Yeah.
That one hurt because I felt like that was the time that you had legitimately caught the rhythm with Joker.
Yeah.
And it was, you could tell, you know what I'm saying? And you guys were depleted as well with other players as well.
Only two of them, though. The one you talking about and the one before. So when I first had my first major injury, I had the surgery. Mm-hmm. Okay, I came back late in the season. Mm-hmm. We lost in the second round to Portland. Okay, so I came back the next season. Boom. Killing. Whole season playing well. And then COVID happened.
Yep.
And I didn't play none in the bubble. And we wound up going to the Western Conference Finals, losing to the Lakers. I really felt like we could have won it that year if I was there. Then, like you said, the next year, we make the trade. We get Aaron Gordon. And everything is going well. we playing well as a team. I'm playing well, and then I pulled my hamstring. 2 weeks before the playoffs start, and boom. Those 2 injuries suck.
Yeah,
those was bad.
And those are, that was kind of your down times. What did you do to kind of push through those moments?
What I always do, rehab strong, do the most I can to whatever I can do as far as working out and working on my game, and watch a lot of motivational stuff, whether it's Kobe or something in life, documentary, whatever it is, just to keep my mind sharp and knowing that I can overcome anything. Yep.
Denver, man, that was a hell of a time. Like you said, you wound up being one of the all-time leading three-point shooters in the franchise until just recently when Jamal did, you know what I mean? Which was kind of crazy. But just to kind of speak on that point, man, just talk about your sense of development from you having a conversation with Kobe about, you know what I mean, the whole shooting thing when y'all was going back and forth to becoming the person that wound up being a three-point leader for a franchise that you didn't even get drafted to.
Crazy, because that was like one of the big knocks when I first got in the league. I couldn't really shoot threes. Like you said, my first NBA start, I got to play against my idol, my basketball idol, Kobe. And at the game, he told me, like, man, young fella, you good. You're going to be good, but you got to get that gym and get your jumper right. Like, you get that right, you're going to be good. And just taking that conversation and really locking myself in that summer, working on my three, and to get it to where the point it became a weapon, went from a weakness to a weapon, and to be able, anytime you could lead a franchise in anything, I mean, that just puts a whole lot of different things in perspective. Your longevity, your perseverance, your talent, your skill, your availability, everything. So that was real monumental for me to be able to hold that record for a little while, and to play in an NBA where I always wanted to play the highest level and to be able to hold the franchise record was crazy to me. It was really surreal. Yeah, that was crazy.
Damn.
Crazy.
Now, you had the opportunity to play with a lot of talented players and be around the league. You was able to play with an MVP, two-time MVP.
Yeah.
Do you feel like Joker was the best player you've ever played with?
I think it's a tie between him and Dame.
That's why I just wanted to know how you felt about that, because you playing with Dame. Dame is one of my favorite players. Unreal. Like, you know what I mean? The only reason why, he said it himself, outside of Steph, it's really them two. Like, as far as how he plays the game, range and everything. But to play with a guy that actually was able to get 2 MVPs in this league, in the league that you play in, that's not something that's shabby feat. And I just wanted to know how you felt about playing with Joker while you was there as an MVP.
Crazy, because I was there from the beginning to see him develop, see him go from a guy that was barely in the rotation to being a 2-time MVP is something I really respect, because he got it out the mud. Was not expected to be that, was not called upon to be that, and to do that when you're not ordained or put in that position from jump is very hard to do. So I really respect him because I'm cut from that same cloth.
Absolutely.
I mean, he got drafted 50 something. So to see that, to go to that, I really respect it. Really respect it. That's dope. A couple more NBA questions, because like I said, Denver. There was a lot that happened in Denver. Yeah.
So I know we again, to reference the conversation with Kobe, but was there any other situations where you met like some older veterans that you played against? I know we talked about the DMV ones, but maybe like LeBron or somebody that was like maybe of that stature, Jason Kidd, or was there any type of player that you revered as a youngster that you finally got to meet that you were kind of like, man, I can't believe I'm meeting this person? Or
I wouldn't say revered, because the only player I kind of revered was Kobe.
Okay.
But all the other players that I thought were great and I got to meet was dope too. Like Jamal Crawford. I always was a big fan of Jamal Crawford. I always thought he was
I can see that.
Nice.
You
get what I'm saying? So when I got to talk to him, and he, would always tell me he loved my game, and he would tell me I was cold. Those conversations with him, and just different scenarios. Even meeting Allen Iverson, him knowing who I was, telling me I had game is crazy. Just situations in the NBA, like where I'm just like, damn, I really made it. Like I remember one year playing against the Cavs, and this one Ty Lue was their coach, and we playing against them, and I just never forget. Like we had played them in Cleveland first. This one I was coming off the bench, and I had a big game. We wound up beating them in a close game in Cleveland, and I was making all the plays down the stretch, scoring, getting assists or whatever. I had a real good game. And then we played him again in Denver. And he blitzed me the whole game. And I'm coming off the bench too. I'm not even a starter, it's not even my team. And anybody who don't know what a blitz is like when I come off a pick and roll, the guard who's playing me and the big man that's on defense involved in the screen and roll is not leaving me until I pass the ball. And then when I pass it, my man is denying me. Mm-hmm. When he did that, and I was coming out the bench, I was like, damn. And and they shut me down that night, but I looked at it like, damn, I really made it. Like, I'm playing against LeBron James and his team, and these guys blitzing me every screen roll and denying me. Like, damn. Like, moments like that is why I be like, I'm who I say I am. You know what I mean? I just remember him talking shit to me. He like, yeah, I got something for your ass today, huh? He told me that at halftime.
You talking about Lou?
Yeah, Ty Lue said that to me. Got something for your ass today. I was laughing. I just was laughing like, yeah. But he don't even know. For me, I was just like, damn, I made it.
Yeah, to make a game plan, you made it.
Yeah, make a game plan against a kid. Like,
yeah.
That's coming out of the bench, too.
Yeah. That's
I went from a 40th pick to that, a guy that wasn't playing to that, like, that's the type of shit that made the most to me.
So what do you think separates you from a lot of the players and a lot of the people that you see come from the city? You know what I mean? A lot of them got some of the same situations and stuff, but what do you think that separated you to keep you lasting in the league for over 10 years? What was some of the differences between you and some of the others?
I mean, I don't know everybody's situation personally, but just me, I just know I wanted more. I just wanted more than anybody. And that's just from anywhere. Not just, but from anywhere. That just was always my mentality. Like, I wanted more.
Only reason why I asked it from that perspective is because, you know, your city, unlike a lot of others, well, a lot of inner cities are the same, but Baltimore is a little different. So teetering off the path isn't as hard. So that's the reason why I asked, like, maybe what was it that separated you, and to speak to that, like, just your perseverance and wanting to get to your goal and your dream. That's what separated. That's what you feel like separated you from.
Just wanting more. Just doing whatever I got to do. Being mentally tough, physically tough, staying in the gym, working on my game, believing in myself, never let my confidence drop no matter what's going on, through the highs, through the lows. Never changing, believing in who I am, saying who I am, and going out there just proving it. Like I said, just wanting more. Never making an excuse. Never just giving in. Never feeling sorry for myself. Just going out there, just getting it done, and just keep working.
Oh man, that's dope. That's dope. You're gonna need that. Anybody young is listening to this, you're gonna need that. You gotta see it all the way through. Even when other people not talking about it, you gotta see it through. So
I always say that I'm tougher than these niggas. That's what I always say. And that's just something I just put in my head. I'm tougher than these niggas.
It ain't got nothing to do with no physicality. It's just more or less just the mental aspect. Just tougher than a lot of them. Yeah. Okay. Nah, shit, you need it. That's the 85% of the game, the mental aspect right there. So, all right, man, not Memphis. I'm still stuck on Memphis. Think about Memphis. Denver, man, you have a phenomenal career there. You wind up coming to the end of the road with Denver. You come back east. What was it like coming back east, and ultimately, did you feel like you closed the chapter in Denver on a positive note from your perspective, or would you like to have seen it go differently?
No, it can only be positive. I mean, shit, like I said, we went from being nothing when I got there to being a playoff team to a serious contender.
Yeah.
So it could never be nothing negative. I mean, I gave it everything I had.
You played a big part in that, yeah.
Played a big part in it, so it could never be negative. Yeah, never.
So how did you feel once you finally got acclimated to coming back to the East? Because at this point, it's your first time in the NBA playing in the East, and it's kind of a little different situation, and the team is you being in a team that you're solidified in the rotation for so long, and then having to step into Washington, ultimately where you went. How was that adjustment coming to DC?
The adjustment was cool, man. I mean, obviously, I'm from Baltimore, so as far as the city,
that's why I'm asking.
City-wise was cool.
Yeah.
Nothing I wasn't, not used to or nothing like that. As far as basketball, it didn't go as planned, how I thought it would. We weren't as good as I planned on. We didn't have a season I thought we would. I didn't have a season I thought I would individually either. So, a disappointment in my eyes. So, just driving me this off season to, get better and come back better next year, because I feel like I got, a lot more good basketball left in me. So, it'd be like that sometimes. Ups and downs, highs and lows. You just gotta stick with it.
No, absolutely. And I've already saw you start some of your off-season regimen and working out and stuff like that. I already know that look and what you getting ready to commit to and what you're trying to do. Are you gonna? I mean, it goes without saying. I'm imagining that you're gonna attack this off-season probably just as hard as you do any other one. But it's something extra on this one. Is that? Could you say that's true?
Definitely.
Okay.
Definitely true. I started earlier than I have the last couple of years, and definitely attacking this one even harder.
Oh, that's dope, man. Yeah. That's dope. So I asked everybody from around there at that time, you graduated and moved on around what I call the golden era of Baltimore City and DMV basketball. Obviously, a little bit before that and a little bit after that, you had some great times. But if you could, whether they're a couple years older than you or a couple years younger than you, give me your top 5 from your era.
Just from my era?
Just from your era. While you was playing, the top 5 players, you can include yourself, maybe from, 2012 down to 06 or something like that. You know what I mean? Just that general vicinity, the players that you thought was like the top 5 players that just like, this guy is really, really nice, whether he's older than you or you seen somebody after the fact that was younger, or you can put yourself in there. It don't have to be in no specific order, but I just want to get the landscape of who you thought at that time, coming into high school, around that zone in high school, who was the top 5 players to you?
Me, my brother, CJ Fair, Roscoe Smith, Josh Shelby, Nick Fowles,
so pretty much Baltimore Elite.
Akil Carr, yeah, those guys. That'd be my list right there.
What is it? Because we have the summer league in Baltimore, ran by Sean Brunson. Brunson League, and you're a big stamp and big supporter of the Brunson League. Champion, MVP, highlight getter, go getter. When you in the building, everybody know what time it is, man. What is it that intrigued you about the league, and what made you want to jump into the league and actually put your footprint on it?
I wound up seeing the league on IG just randomly. I don't even remember how I seen it. I just randomly seen it. Went on the page. I seen it was a pro-am league, because at that time I was looking for something to play. Like, it wasn't no medal league no more. So I was like, at that time I didn't even hear that we had any pro-am. So I was kind of looking for something. And I just seen it. I was like, okay, it got a little The Brunson League, I seen like Stanton Kid, that's my guy. He was playing in it. A couple other guys I knew hooping growing up, like Devin Spencer. I seen highlights of him playing in it. And I was saying like they had a league championship and all that. So I was like, start looking at the page or whatever. And I remember one time, it was like coming down to the finals or whatever. I think like the Final Four championship game. And I just hit the page. I was like, yo, I want to play. And I didn't know, Sean at the time. I didn't know him. I didn't know anybody really who ran the league or nothing. And they was trying to, help me get on one of the teams and play. I forgot the team I was going to play with.
If it wasn't CMB, it don't matter.
No, it wasn't CMB. Because I told him to put me on a team that was least likely to win.
Okay.
Just because I'm competitive.
Absolutely.
Try to get the most bump that I can. Something happened. I had to go somewhere. I wasn't able to make it. So I seen that who won the league? L&D had won it that year.
Yeah, it beat us.
Yep, they beat y'all. Yep. As a matter of fact, I remember the highlights. I watched the highlights. And I remember, rest in peace, Dev. He had won MVP or whatever. So I'm like, man, at this time, I'm like, yo. I'm like, damn. Like, I want to be known as the best player in the city. Even though I'm in the league and stuff like that, I'm like, the way I want to be known as the best player, I got to come home and play. I got to play. So I remember hitting Sean up like, yo, I'm putting a team in the Brunson League next year. Like, I'm gonna put my own team in it. He was like, yo, that's cool. Woo. He was like, can we promote it? Can I tell people? I'm like, yeah, let's do it. And me and him started talking. I'm like, yeah, it's time to get, a pro-am back in the city. Like, why we got to go to LA to play in the Drew League? Or this city and that city.
Or DC.
When we got all these good pros in the city. So I'm like, I need to help get this league on the map. So I told him, like, yeah, I'm putting the team in there. He, told everybody, and, I didn't know, like, what was going to happen from that. I mean, I obviously knew, like, people was going to want to play in it, but I didn't know it was going to, I ain't going to say I didn't know, but I'm just saying, like, it just took a life of its own. It went from being up, I think, Carver.
Yeah, it's at Carver.
To the Mellow Center, the UA house now. Yeah. And I remember it was electric from day one of that summer.
Absolutely.
From day one. And it was just like me, it was just my drive to really just prove that I was the best player in the city. And I seen that Dev won the championship and won MVP, so I respect him. I'm saying, like, he the best player because they get to see him. I'm like, they got to see me for me to earn that title. So I'm like, I got to come back here and play in the summertime. So that summer came, put my team in it, and we won. I mean, it was competitive. I didn't care who was playing in it. I just knew I was going to be there every Sunday, ready to play no matter who it was against, and I was just taking the game seriously. I didn't care about who was playing, no names. I never asked for nobody to play. I didn't care. I just knew I was playing. And I was just on a mission at that time in my life. I was just in a different place to, like, show the city, like, I'm the guy now. This is my shit. I'm the best player. I'm about to prove it. And that's what I was on. And we won it back to back. It was real competitive. I loved it. The atmosphere was crazy. The crowd was crazy. And I really just wanted to do it also, not just to prove that I was the best, but to bring the city together. Give us our own league where our pros can play. So it was a combination of both, and I think I helped do that.
No, for sure, man. That above all, that meant the most, I think, to a lot of the people that was there, because you spoke about it, your sense of enjoyment and the fulfillment that you could see it. If you were there and you were watching, I mean, especially playing and being on the floor, from a competitive standpoint, you knew you was ready to go and locked in. But the people, the fans that was watching, they see that you wasn't out there just doing tween, shooting threes. You really getting in the mix. You talking. You're getting engaged with your community. You know what I'm saying? And we didn't get to see that obviously, you know what I mean, from that point, before that, I mean, it wasn't as big, but even still with the guys that came, we didn't get to see that type of interaction, that sense of enjoyment, that sense of, when you come in here, you're coming to try to beat us, and we really want to win this game. Like, you feel what I'm saying?
Yep.
And it's not like the NBA finals or nothing like that, but you respecting the crowd enough and respecting your city enough to show that effort. Man, everybody loved that, bro. And that really left a really big mark on the league and the city itself, for real. I mean, outside of the league, the city itself, like you said, it brought the city together.
Yeah, everything that I was doing for them, they was doing for me. So, like you just said, like the city appreciated it. I'm glad they did, but I needed it at that time too.
Yeah.
It was something that I was really chasing.
You wanted to prove that you was the best from coming from the city.
Yeah, because you got to do so. I always looked at it from different angles. Yeah, I'm playing the NBA, I'm having success, I'm doing my thing, you watching on TV, cool. But it's like, I got to do it in the summer where they can feel it.
Exactly.
Like, you got to put up these performances where, when it's over, people can talk about it. You know what I'm saying? Remember, Will did this, he did that down there, and they're going to remember it. So I was chasing legacy in that mind frame at that point in time. Like 10, 5, 20 years from now, they're gonna remember when they talking about, damn, remember that time Will came down St. Francis, he had 74, 72, or he was playing the Brewster League, he had 40, they won back to back. Like, to me, those are what, help create legends.
It's only a couple different resumes that you could put up against that. How do you feel about that? I mean, how do you kind of look at that at this point? You know what I mean? Because, you can look back at it now. You've been working so much that sometimes you can forget. Yeah. But how do you feel when you start to stack it up and you measure, you know what I mean? Do you measure yourself up against these guys, or is it a situation where you just kind of, it is what it is, just a stand up measurement? I did what I did. They did what they did. It's only a couple people that have done what I've done. Yeah. Is that more so how you think about it?
I'm definitely proud of it. And it's something I wanted since I was young. I talk about old heads about me, Rolo Hines, this shit we planned since I was 14, 15. And I always tell them, like, when it's said and done, they gonna have to say, I'm one of the best ever that come from our city. And that's what I was chasing. I wanted to be the best ever. And when you look at my resume, when you break it down, and we still going down, but when you break it down, it ain't too many like me. Like, you're gonna have to put me in rare air, in rare senses with rare names. Like, it ain't too many people that done it like me from beginning to now. Like, you just break it down. Like, rec league championships, AAU state championships, AAU national championship, a high school undefeated season, city champs, regional champs, state champs, beat the best county team that year, beat the best Catholic team that year, running through shit. You know what I mean? Go to prep school, win a national prep championship, top 10 in the country, number 1 at my position. Go to college, only do 2 years of school, win conference player of the year, go to the NCAA tournament both years, get drafted. You know what I mean? Like, 11 years in the league and counting, then put up double digits multiple years in the NBA. They did the dunk contest. It was a franchise holding 3-pointers made. Then you do my summer resume and put on some of the biggest shows ever in the history of Baltimore. Like, not too many people gonna be able to say they scored 72 points in front of the whole city against all NBA players, too. Like, all NBA players on the opposing team.
And that's something I wanted to cut you off. Mind you, when you're winning these championships and players of the years and all that, you're still playing with the best of the best, too. You just talked about CJ and all your other guys. These guys are not chopped liver.
Then you go to Brunson, our summer league basketball era, won back-to-back championships and that 40 back-to-back in the championships. Like, when you just break down everything, what is it gonna be left to say? That's what I'm saying. Like, there's only a few people you're gonna be able to even say my name with, and that's what I always wanted it to be. That's how I always planned it to be. Like, I'm checking off every box.
Yeah, that's damn sure. Yeah. You're definitely checking them off, man, for sure. We're gonna get to these 2 closing points. The first thing, I gotta talk about Team Thrill, man.
Yeah.
I gotta talk about that because I want to talk about the legacy. You know what I mean? This is the first part of it. One part of it. I wouldn't say the first, but Team Thrill, man. How did you? I know Coach Mookie was involved with that, but is that something that you guys got together and you decided it was time for us to get represented on that level too?
Yeah, I always, that was a dream of mine. Like, man, once I make it to the league, I want to do an AAU team. Me and Rolo, was looking for people to help run it. We came across Mookie, one of the greatest people I ever met in my life. Great relationship with all the kids and their parents, and we came together and formed Team Thrill. Obviously, I'm sponsored by Under Armour, so we're on the Under Armour circuit. Mm-hmm. And to see where, from day one to where we at now, it's crazy.
It's incredible.
It's crazy, man. And multiple guys going to colleges, Division I, Division IIs. We about to have our first NBA draft pick in Jarris Walker that declared, went to Houston this year, so it'll be a lottery pick this year. So to see it go from from day one to where we are now, it's crazy. And you can never dream of stuff like this. And most importantly, them getting scholarships and being able to go to school.
Yeah.
That's what we're in it for, just to give them another platform to show their talents and be able to go to school and, make something of their lives is the biggest thing. So to be able to see that, and we've been going strong with that and only getting better and stronger each year, it's crazy.
Oh, absolutely. That's one of the most the one of the most heralded teams in the country, man. One of my good friends, Maples, his son plays on one of the Team Thrill teams. That boy is bad. Yeah. That boy is bad. But lastly, man, I just wanted to just end this with just this part right here. What is legacy? I mean, what does legacy mean to you, and what do you hope that your legacy is going forward for you, starting with you, and extending to your family? What do you want your legacy to be as you continue to push through in this navigating in this life?
Just different parts of it. One is from my family aspect and friends that's the closest to me, to be able to help change their lives, put them in better positions, help them out, be able to take care of my mom for the rest of her life, my sister, my brother, and my immediate friends. Like I said, from the jump, I put families together. I help keep families together. I help put people on their feet, and they help me get to where I'm at along this journey. So for us to be going through this journey together is special, and they'll be able to tell my story. So that's a big part of it. My kids, be able to take care of them and get them somebody to be proud of and give them a blueprint is another part of my legacy. Mm-hmm. Anybody that's ever been around me or affected by me or know their family or me or a friend of me, to be able to talk about me and be proud of me and give them an example of someone that made it is a part of my legacy. Mm-hmm. The inspiration I give to the trenches, the hood, kids, period, people, period, is definitely a part of my legacy, something I stand on. The Team Thrill legacy is crazy. For people to just know me as a good person, was outgoing, humble, confident, got along with people, another part of my legacy. And then the basketball part, just coming from my city, they gonna always have to say my name when they talk about the greatest ever. You're gonna have to say my name. So when I put all that in perspective, it's just It's something I always dreamed of and put into play. And now people worldwide know who I am. A skinny kid from East Baltimore.
East Baltimore.
East Baltimore. And now they know me worldwide and respect my game. People come to me, oh, bucket getter.
Yeah. Life you couldn't, man.
Can't ask for more.
Can't ask for more,
Can't
man.
ask for more, man.
Oh my God, man. We've been on for a while. Man, again, just wanted to say super appreciative. I definitely been wanting to get this interview since since the inception of the show. You're one of the first people I thought of to do it, just because you represented what started this page for. The beginning, it was called The Gift is Free, and it's all about what you're going to do to separate yourself. And as you can see throughout this whole story, you gave us pillar after pillar of what you need to do to separate yourself to get to the next level. So I really didn't have to ask you that formally. But again, man, I just want to say thank you, man. And I wish you all the best. And if we ever need to do a part 2, you already know, hit me up.
Yes, sir. Yes,
you know what I'm saying? And continued success to you, man. Much respect to you for all the things that you've done for those alike and the young kids that's around that's looking up to you, man, and Team Thrill and everything you got going on, man. I just wish continued blessings to you, you know what I'm saying?
Sure.
And I really mean that, man, sincerely. And yeah, man, ladies and gentlemen, Will Barton. You ready to get on out of here, man. I'll holler at you, yo.
Appreciate you, my boy.
Appreciate you, dog.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.